Hello and welcome everyone to Royale League Asia. We're back with day number 2, week 6. My name is G Clef. Me is Simon back on the desk, but we have day 2 of Japan versus Korea. Korea versus Japan happening so far from yesterday. 2-1, Korea in the lead.
Yeah, much better than the last time these two regions played, which ended up 7-1, I believe,
Oh yes,
right?
for Japan.
And the games yesterday were just super close, like taking it always to the ace match in 2 of the games, and every game finished in 3 sets, right? Like
almost, except for the second match, yes, and usually went to the overtime, and actually the longest stay so far into the league. But we have the overview. It will be the same Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we are going to have the match at OGN for the second week. Last week it was Korea versus Southeast Asia. This time against Japanese teams. We have the home and away system. Pretty cool. I haven't really seen that in esports too much, but we have all the players getting to know each other, meeting all the fans as well at OGN Stadium.
Yeah, the stadium is packed as well.
Yes.
Every time, like the queues are out the door trying to get tickets into the event, and it's nice to see. It's good to see that Clash Royale is getting what it needs. Like
it's 12 p.m. right now, but we walk in here around 9-ish a.m. and there were lines. There were backpacks, and there are backpacks of line just to make sure they get the ticket coming into the venue today, because there are so many people. This early on a Saturday?
I wouldn't be awake at this
How
early on a
passionate
Saturday.
do you have to be?
Super passionate, because Saturdays is the day where you sleep until about midday, you know? That's
Sometimes,
what we do.
yes.
Sometimes?
After a hard Friday night, yes, certainly. But let's go take a look at the VCR right before we will get to hear about the players a little bit.
한일전이라는 것도 신경이 쓰였고
무조건 이기고 싶었어요. 화나죠. 일본한테 졌는데.
좀 그때로 다시 돌아가고 싶어요. 저희가 한방 모은 것 같아요.
このまま1位を今回は楽しみながらできると思っています。
もしも勝てたらガッツポーズしてみたいなと思います。
저희 팀 상대가 이겼을 때 OGN 엔투스 선수가 했던 세레모니를 똑같이 하더라고요.
こう目立ったパフォーマンスをしているのでこっちも負けてられるかっていう感じでやってますね。
다른 팀이지만 짜증도 나고 좀
되게 화났습니다.
복수를 꼭 하고 싶은 마음이 강한 것 같아요.
韓国ではスケルトンラッシュ、やっぱり特定の戦術が決まっていることが多いと思っているので、うまくはまれば全然いけると思います。
일본 팀은
생각보다는 강했다.
되게 침착함이 보이더라고요. 약점이 딱히 없는 것 같습니다. 약점이 없다고 최강인 건 아니기 때문에.
포너스 팀이 더 경계되는 것 같아요.
미칸 선수가
미칸 보우야?
많이 기억에 남았던 것 같아요. 굉장히 플레이가 노련하고 참신하고.
そう思っていただけてるなら嬉しいです。
만나게 되면은 또 재밌게 경기할 것 같긴 한데
負けたくないです。僕が勝ちたいと思います。
김치의 매운맛을 확실히 느끼도록 깨닫게 해주겠습니다.
キムチ嫌いなんですよね。あんま辛くなかったわ。
전패를 하고 비행기를 타게 되는 그 씁쓸함을 저희가 느끼도록 해드리겠습니다.
僕らは嬉し泣きで帰りたいなと思います。
絶対勝ってこの韓国戦をものにしてこのポーズを決めたいと思います。
hear a little bit from the players as what they had to say. It seems like Mika Buya from Japan is one of the players that's keeping an eye from the Korean players, and also Expo Master, who's actually one of the strongest player in Korea. So we have the rivalry going on there a little bit.
Yeah, that video just shows that after losing so badly against Japan in Japan, the Korean teams like kind of got that fire underneath them, and since then they've played a lot better. They drew, I think it was 4-4 against SEA or something like that. Very, very close games. And I just mean, they've been playing so well since then.
Yep, and all they needed was some creativity in their deck, and ever since they started putting in something crazy, like Sparky, yes, it did happen yesterday. Again, continuing from the weeks. Those kinds of surprising cards you would kind of never expect to be there, especially for the Korean players who rarely played something that much of a surprising, and they actually pulled out a win on 1v1, and also having some great spells like the Arrow, which we thought that we were never going to see in the league. It's been out already.
Yeah, and we have the standings up on the board. Once again, game with 6-2 sitting at the top. Ponos Sports, have a chance today to join them at 6-2 if they can beat King's Own Dragon X.
That is certainly time, because GameWith dropped their match yesterday, which was a big one against Sandbox. They have one more loss, so Ponos Sports can tie it up after taking the very first match of today, but against the strongest Korean team for now, King's Own Dragon X. It was at third place, tied up, but kind of because they're tied up with so many other teams, kind of at the bottom of the first page, but we have a lot of the Korean teams in the second page as well.
Yeah, the bottom half of the table is mostly Korea, half and half for SEA, and just Detonation Gaming sitting down there for Japan. But still, I would say that Detonation Gaming are a very strong team.
Still in the low end. Here's the entire week matchups. 2-1 for Korea so far, and it was certainly not as dominant even in match 2. Well, match 2, 2v2. OPGG Skeleton did have some trouble going against Destination Gaming, but still, it was one of the better matchups in match 1 and 3, and feel like it's going to continue over to day number 2, as we saw some disappointments even from GameWith after Yuhiro losing that 1v1. He was having a tough time in front of the camera at the same time.
He was distraught after losing yesterday. He kept his head down pretty much all the way through the 2v2 game. And to see that kind of reaction really did make me worry about the player. Like, I don't think we've seen that so far. Someone take a loss so badly as he did.
I've seen it happen only a few times though. Maybe once a year-ish, but should be coming back very soon, because I believe they're playing match 3 again, yes, against OPGG Skeleton tonight. And maybe he will just sit on the bench for tonight, because he took a hard hit last night and did make few mistakes. I think he was just embarrassed when you make those kind of mistakes. Does happen, and of course you have to come back from those mentality, and it's not just about yourself, it's about the team too.
Yeah, sometimes it's better just to get back on the horse, and I feel like he should have played today. But if he doesn't, then I can still understand it. Like, it was a hard loss for him to take. But we see on the screen Ponos Sports and King's Own Dragon X. Ponos Sports come into this probably the favorite team, I would say. Yes. More so than King's Own Dragon X, because Ponos Sports have been on an absolute tear in this league lately.
In terms of standings, GameWin of course was on top, but all the Korean teams and most of the Korean players were picking Mikambuya and Ponos Sports as the strongest team from Japan. Doesn't really match with the standings, but maybe it will after starting today, because they can tie up with the first place and maybe pass them after the results of tonight.
Yeah, every player on this team is pretty much what I mean to say is this team is full of superstars in Clash Royale Japan, like Mikamboya, Tengot. These are really big Clash Royale players, and they show it when they play games. They're just so clinical, so precise when they play.
Yeah, Ponos only lost against Brandy Sports. No other teams yet. Let's see if they can continue their trend. Not really losing to anyone else, but one team so far, and this team is looking to take that chance. King's Own Dragon X, the third place, tied up But
That
on the
can
front
all
page,
change.
and the best team of Korea, Expo Master, due to some physical conditions last week, he actually had possibly one of the worst match in his history of competitive Clash Royale esports for himself. But seems a lot better today.
Yeah, the day after last Saturday, like last Sunday, he played amazingly well, super tight plays, and just dominated his opponent. So when this guy is healthy, he can beat anybody. But what state is he in today? That's what we need to know. And the teams giving each other the handshake, and what we can see here is that Fuchi and Expo Master are going to go into set number 1 today.
Fuchi has been playing a lot of 1v1, but not really having the best result. That's the thing against Game with Shun, 0-2. Against Hao from OG and Entus, 0-2 as well. So even though his team was winning a lot, himself was losing the 1v1, making it harder for the team, and they really had to bring it back together with the 2v2 and all the way to the ace match.
Yeah, losing to Shun is not a big deal. Like, Shun is an amazing player, and he has shown this time and time again. He can beat anybody on any day. But losing to Hao, that might have affected Fuchi's confidence a little bit, because we haven't seen him play 1v1 since that week. And Howl is a great player, but Ponos Sports in general is a tier above OG and Entus. And I think losing that game may have caused him to lose a bit of confidence.
And here comes Expo Master, the trending. Look at that number 13. Mark that down. I think he's possibly the only one with that 13.
I think so. He's definitely up there in terms of games played. But Kingzone Dragon X rocking what looks like a very nice summery shirt there. Looks like it's about 6 sizes too big for Expo Master, but it's still a nice shirt.
Yeah, it's gonna be big. They are the dragons. I mean, they have to put that X on the Kingzone Dragon.
He just explodes halfway through the game, sprouts wings, and starts breathing.
For the Dragon Breath, yes.
Yeah.
There will be a time. And of course, due to ban cards, we do have to talk about a lot of the ban cards. From the Korean teams, it has been Balloon and the Three Musketeer most likely yesterday. And lots of Tornado from Japanese teams as well. So let's see if that continues. No, it's going to be Expo and Elixir Collector ban. Okay, against Expo Master, very likely. And also, Expo Master, he has said in many interviews that if I just ban the Elixir Collector, I just have close to 90% of winning. That's actually what he said last year, and he will just continue that.
Yeah, we've seen it this year as well, where whenever he bans the Elixir Collector, he seems to pick up the victory. I think we can find the stats somewhere, but it's under a pile of paper. But when he bans it, he plays incredibly well, and it doesn't matter if you ban the Expo. We saw last week, no Expo ban. Expo Master didn't even look at the Expo, and he still dominated his games.
That's true. And Elixir Collector, in a way, it is certainly not a direct ban against the Three Musketeer, but having Elixir Collector banned sort of does go around its way to affect that Three Musketeer decks in a way, because there are a lot involving that card with it.
Yeah, it just slows down Three Musketeer play because they cannot get that Elixir building up as quickly without the Elixir Collector. So it's a much bigger gamble when you play the Three Musketeers when you have no Elixir Collector, because it's very hard to claw back that Elixir if they don't do anything.
It does have everything else, the Balloon out there, lots of air units, has been the trending decks that we saw yesterday because of Rascals, lots of logs, and log will not catch anyone in the air, any units in the air. So we did see lots of air units, and we're having the merry-go-round in the meta of decks countering each other. So far, 3 out of 3 wins on the Goblin Barrel with the Rascal. Just yesterday, used only by the Japanese teams.
Yeah, but it didn't help the region in general, though, right? Like, they still fell to the Korean sword. So, I mean, is it really that good? I'm still unsure about Rascal's place in the current meta. Like, we've seen a lot of Minion Horde. So we've seen a lot of arrows. Like, that's the perfect counter, right? Minion Horde get arrowed. So like that kind of relationship happens, but I don't know if Rascals have found a true place right now in the meta.
Well, it's certainly very effective, I would say. Has changed a lot of the deck playstyle and the spells as well.
There we have the stats. When he bans Elixir Collector and the opponent bans Expo, 64% win ratio. That's really high at this point in this tournament.
This means that if he plays 3 games, he will at least win 2. Or close to it, 2% off.
Yeah, so he's unbeaten. Pretty much, that means he's unbeaten in terms of this matchup, I believe.
We'll see. He only dropped... Yeah, 2 sets on 1v1. He has won way too many. Look at that. Let me make sure I count this right.
But I'll just say that Fuchi is currently 0-4 and lost 0-2-0-2. And that's got to be in a bad situation when you are going up against the best player in the region. But Fuchi seems to be a bit of a fall guy. He's thrown into these 1v1 situations, so Mikamboya and Raiki Jones can play 2v2 where they excel. And then they use Mikamboya in the ace match.
Yeah, that's also something that a lot of the teams has been doing. Pull out a player that has not been playing for the last 2 weeks because they will be lacking data. And we're into a new patch with the Rascals, so maybe Kingdom Dragon X might not have the right data, but we are ready to jump into our very first game, match 1. Game number 1 with set number 1. Fuchi versus Expo Master. See you in the arena.
Okay, so we have Fuchi for Ponos Sports in the blue at the bottom of the screen, and we have Expo Master for Kingzone Dragon X in red at the top of the screen.
Okay. Do have the Mortal Rascal, very likely from Fuchi.
This deck has been on a tearing Grand Challenge, but I don't think we've seen too much of it yesterday,
Only
right?
once and lost.
Yeah. Perfect log there, taking out the Goblin Gang before it does too much, and the Spear Goblin will get 1 spear off and then die. Miner used here. Okay, Mega Minion taking that out nice and easy. And right now it's very hard to say who has the advantage because this is a bit of a back and forth matchup between these two decks.
Expo Master does have the log and the poison. So the damage or any hard push with the Rascal isn't really going to be a big of a threat. Fuchi for now, placing mortals all the way in the back. Make sure you go with the defensive moves before you turn the tide and go all the way next to the bridge.
Yeah, that mortar shot there completely whiffing on the Goblin. That is one of the problems with the mortar, is that it will lock on, shoot, and if the unit is quick like a Goblin, it will just move out of the way. But we see Minion Horde, Spear Goblins played down here. If that gets anywhere near the tower, that's usually game over. The tower is currently attacking the Miner, doesn't clear it up. The Royal Giant, the Royal Ghost there cleans it up, but at what cost? He's took a lot of damage onto that top right-hand side tower.
About 700 damage done. A lot due to the Miner and few from the Spear Goblins as well. But he knew that he was winning the trade just by slightly. So he did chip in a lot and got the damage done. Down to about 3/5 of the way.
Yeah, we see P.E.K.K.A used on the defense here. That's what P.E.K.K.A is pretty much used for now in the pro scene. It's just that defense. It never really, you never expect it to connect, but it does such a good job at defending everything. And we can see that the Miner at the top has taken up another 200 hit points on that top right-hand tower, and Expo Master has done probably another 200 to that bottom left side.
Finally, Fuchi's moving over to an attack now. Immortal placed right next to it. Get that logged. Getting that massive value, and the minions will come all the way to deal with the P.E.K.K.A. You don't want that P.E.K.K.A near your tower at all.
Yeah, that mortar now will connect onto the Electro Wizard, kills it off, but there is a Royal Giant and a Mega Minion here. If that connects onto the tower, that's going to deal good damage. But the Miner on the other side takes off another 300 hit points.
The real problem for Expo is that he's splitting the damage, not really getting any tower down. And compared to that Fuchi, who has been just focusing onto the right side, already down to 588.
Yeah, but this is typical Expo Master. Expo Master usually loses the first set. It's like a very strict routine that he has. But he is in a not terrible position at this point.
Gee. Does have one more card, maybe looking for some chances. Miner will connect a lot of damage onto this bottom left tower. That's just 750, but see log plus the Miner. Oh, actually gets the hit by the P.E.K.K.A. as well, because it actually does splash damage from the mortar.
Yep, the splash damage from that mortar that hit the P.E.K.K.A. was just, I think, in range of the tower. Taking it down, the Miner would have died to the P.E.K.K.A. and we might have seen one more attack there from Expo Master.
It was all planned out because he placed that Miner to the side. Of course, maybe not planned out to have that P.E.K.K.A. down, but still. With the spell, he also threw the log. It was very close to be going down anyhow. So I think Fuchi had that game. Just focusing on to one side, make sure he has a defense to both sides when the Expo Master was trying to trick with the mind games a little bit.
Yeah, it didn't pay off for him, but that is still a pretty good strategy, is to deal a lot of damage on both sides, because if you do lose a tower and it's one tower each, you suddenly have this huge advantage going into overtime.
But overtime, once you get a tower down, you're done. There's nothing else to actually take away from the team, away from the opponent. You just have to. First mission is to get that first tower down. That's what you need. And when you distribute, maybe you're looking for a longer game, but when you hit overtime, you can't really go for that strategy anymore.
But you do get those situations where both towers will go down instantaneously, and then suddenly you have to continue playing. And surely that's not something you prepare for, but it does happen, right? We've all been in games where it's like, oh, there's 1 second left. I took the tower. Oh, my tower's dead. And suddenly, you know, you're in a defensive position because your opponent just pushed.
But only if you have the right damage or a rocket in your hand. When you know for certain that you are going to at least get one tower down. Did not happen for Expo Master. Let's see if he can come back. As Fuchi leading 1-0. Let's go into game 2.
So we have Fuchi in blue for Ponos Sports using that Mortar Rascal deck. And we have Kingzone Dragon X who used the Spear Goblin, Goblin Hut kind of deck. You see the log come out instantly here. Ice Spirit as well. These are very low cost cards looking for that giant cycle.
Fuchi did bring that barrel. Even with a Tesla.
Tesla is a great defensive card, even when it's not used with the Expo. So it's not surprising we get to see here. And there's the Rascals. Rascals have been pretty much everywhere since their release. They fit into a lot of decks, but they're not always super effective. And we're still waiting to see what is the standout deck. That Mortar Rascal deck is incredibly good in Grand Challenge. It hasn't shown too much potential in Pro. We just saw it won, but it did lose yesterday, so that deck is currently one.
Ooh, Lumberjack in play with the Giant in the deck. So Expo Master certainly prepared against the deck that Fuchi has right now. Actually got one hit onto the tower as well. He does have the log, so of course Fuchi would like to bait it out with the Princess, the Rascals.
I mean, Fireball still gets a very positive trade against Rascals. It's a 1 elixir trade instead of the 3 elixir trade. But we see Night Witch summoned here behind the Giant. This is usually a Golem instead of a Giant, but this does work as well. We've seen this work many times where if you want a lower cost cycle, use the Giant instead of the Golem.
And because of that, Lumberjack will be basically taking out the Princess. Not a bad move, I would say. It does end up wasting the Rage. But look at that, Mega Minion will actually connect 2 more shots.
There, that barrel went right to the back, right on top of the Night Witch, making it really ineffective. And suddenly this push from Expo Master is looking kind of scary for Fuchi.
Fuchi throwing out lots of poison spells. It's not getting the maximum value. Entus doing some damage from alongside. Look, gets taken out with the fireball. Big cost. Expo Master really wants to push this one out, and Lumberjack goes down by the speed. And another Tesla from Fuchi, though.
Yeah, good pull there. Unfortunately, that first Night Witch did move in front of the Giant, causing it to get hit by the tower, and that kills it. But the second one was behind a Giant that just fell before it even did anything. So, not effective Night Witch use here, but the Lumberjack on defense against the Goblin Barrel, perfectly fine.
Fuchi, because his left tower is very low, switching off to the another lane. They throw down the barrel already, and Lumberjack doing massive damage. This will come in time, and look at that. Down to 3 digits, to 733.
So much damage from that Lumberjack there, putting Expo Master in such a commanding position. What will he have to finish off this game? The Ice Spirit's slowing down the Rascals. Where is the Fireball? There's the Zap. There's the Lumberjack. That will clear that up nicely. Mega Minion, though, summon there as well. That Tesla Tower will not last long. Will he be able to get another 300 damage? Oh, just in time on that Rascal Summon, but 130 hit points. It's going to go down to a Fireball. It goes down to Zap and Log instead. And Expo Master continues his streak of losing game 1, winning game 2, and usually we'll win that game 3.
Well, let's see if it happens once again. Fuchi, he was in a tough spot as that was straight up hard counter by what Expo Master has brought into game 2. As we did see this deck a lot, 3 times yesterday. And because lots of the time the log was not available for the opponents, the barrel won out 3 out of 3. But when there's log available, and Expo Master had lots of ways, even the Fireball, Zap, 3 spells in that deck.
Yeah, the 3-spell deck is slowly coming into meta, I would say. Like, we've seen it a lot more. And I think with the rise of things like Minion Horde, Rascals, Goblin Barrels, Goblin Gangs, all those cards are easily dealt with spells. So the 3-spell deck is definitely a very good choice at this point.
I think Fuchi was also having a brain freeze in the middle because we all know how much Lumberjack can actually do damage straight up to the tower. Quick attack speed, lots of damage by itself. Actually brought down 2/3 of the tower HP by himself, just walking straight up. And Fuchi, at that moment, he was holding 10 elixirs. He was not really using it. He was thinking about his own push right after, and there was also another Giant with the Night Witch pushing in from the left side. So he was kind of worried. What do I actually do now? Do I defend the left side or the right side? Or can I do this together at the same time? So that's the kind of decision that he had to make. He was very, very late to make any choice.
Yeah, definitely felt like a deer in the headlights situation where he wasn't sure, should I defend the right side? Should I prepare a defense for the left side? And being stuck in that position, you end up doing nothing and suddenly your tower is ruined. So, I mean, maybe he could have defended a lot better than that. But I think he made the right call at the right time, leaving that Lumberjack to take that tower. Because if the Giant and the Night Witch connect onto that tower is dead anyway. That's a very strong push. Giant Night Witch, once the Night Witch gets maybe 4 to 6 bats, a tower will go down in about 4 seconds.
Maybe less than that too. When you have the Giant as well connecting to the tower, I think he was waiting for his Tesla moment, but the timeout is over and the final game between Fuchi and Expo Master. The winner will take the set and have the team leading in the match. Let's go into game number 3.
So we have Fuchi in blue, winning game 1, losing game 2. Expo Master losing game 1, winning game 2 in red at the top of the screen. Giant Skeleton versus Royal Ghost. How does that end up?
2 dead things. Oh, nice placement of the Magic Archer bats. Has to be dropped down as ASAP, but look at the zap.
That Magic Archer does so much damage. got the perfect angle, making sure that it could hit the tower as well as the giant skeleton. And just look at how much damage has been done already at this point in the game.
Crazy amount of damage. That's exactly why Expo Master, because of that, wants to make his own push right after the log. Will not catch the balloon, of course. Is there anything to stop the balloon other than the Mega Minion? We'll get one.
It's going to get two. Oh!
So close. The zap stopped it just in time. Fuji.
Perfect zap. That zap pretty much single-handedly saved that tower. It would have been down to probably a fireball range if he got one more hit. But Expo Master took a lead. It was a very one-off kind of push, I would say.
It's having that Lumberjack making sure that he puts pressure onto the land side and the air at the same time. Once again, this time a Prince. So a little bit of a different story as the rage continues.
Yeah, fireball. That time, Fuchi was prepared. You can only really do that push and deal that much damage once before someone holds back a Mega Minion to make sure that it connects to the balloon. Using that fireball, making sure you have the elixir ready for anything like that. So that push worked perfectly once, and now he's got to slowly try and bait in the spells from Fuchi before he can lay that down.
Giant. Push will come, but Skeleton already there to have that explosion damage. Giant will be getting a punch onto the tower only. Lumberjack doing tons of damage. But his real push is coming again with the balloon on the left side.
You say real push, but that is a very scary push on that right-hand side. The giant skeleton in range does get one hit. That's going to be another 1,000 damage to that tower, but the Prince connects.
As well. So, good amount of trade for Fuchi as well, but this push is a real one.
Yeah, so we're probably going to see the fireball in a second.
With the
no, plays the giant.
Very late response from Fuchi, and just having that tower down, and even more.
He's looking for the trade now, but I don't think he's going to get it. That giant skeleton is going to do work on the defense. Almost got 3 drops there out of that. There's the fireball. 64 HP remains. That's going to get zapped down. But Fuchi, if he cannot finish this, it is over.
He does not have the spell. He did not have the log in his hand at the moment. It was going to be a close. I thought he was holding it, but Expo Master, he knew it, and he's going to continue the trend.
Yeah, Expo Master there dropping out the dab, because in the interviews, we saw that players were saying, like, we like to copy our opponents' win celebrations, and when we beat Expo Master, we're going to start dropping dabs everywhere.
Some creative decks coming out from Expo Master, having the giant skeleton as a defensive tool, and making sure that Lumberjack goes down to power up, the rage up that balloon. Just went straight through. Fuchi thought he can actually get a better trade, at least the same amount of trade, get that tower down, but it was close. Yeah, down to 64, I believe.
Yeah, Expo Master's push was just much quicker, I would say, and even on the right-hand side, even if Fuchi managed to tie out that game there, take that tower, he still probably would have lost because his King Tower was down. His Princess Tower, the one remaining Princess Tower, was super low as well. Expo Master controlled that game perfectly. There, we saw the mortar just hit that P.E.K.K.A. just in range of the tower.
Yeah, look at that Lumberjack. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
10.
Oh,
10
man.
hits. No, the 9 hits there did so much damage. Put Expo Master in such a good position. Finishes it with that zap and log. And here, it looked really bad for Expo Master. That Magic Archer got the perfect angle to hit the giant skeleton and the tower, but unfortunately, just couldn't do anything with it.
This was the starting push with the Lumberjack rage, and the balloon will just continue through. Fuchi, a little bit of a late response against the Lumberjack as well. He wanted to have a better trade, but see, look at the defense here. Expo Master already dropped that giant skeleton. Explosion damage, basically taking out everything.
Yeah, that's the one good thing of giant skeleton on the defense, is that nothing survives when he dies. Unless it can run really quickly. But King's Own Dragon X do take set number 1. So we're going to go into set number 2, which is a 2v2. And we see Mikamboya and Raiki Jones, the dream team from Ponos Sports, standing in that booth. Currently 4-2. I believe they have one tie in there as well somewhere. So 4-1-2 for Raiki Jones and Mikamboya. These two at 2v2 are insane.
Let's pair it up. Look at that, Mikamboya actually played, let's count, right. Counting the draw, tight game as well, 20 games of 2v2. And with Bucci, with Tengad, and of course with Raiki Jones as well. So Mikamboya, he has always been in this 2v2 situation. The numbers right there, 4 wins and 2 losses. I don't think that really summarizes how well they have been actually putting down the 2v2. They often lost their 1v1 and brought it back with the 2v2, going all the way to the ace match, then brought the win for the team. This is the power spike that they have. 2v2, if they can actually win every single one of them, they can go all the way to the ace match and then come back.
Yeah, Mikamboya is currently undefeated in ace matches with 6 wins. He hasn't even dropped 1 game. And this is what they do. This is what Funos like to do. I mean, I don't think they like losing set 1, but in set 2, Mikamboya, Raiki Jones, or even Tengad there, and then using Mikamboya in that ace match, who just dominates it. They need to win 2 games, and if their strongest player is Mikamboya, use him in 2 games.
Well, here we have Ho and July for Kingdom Dragon X. And they've been falling behind a little bit on their 2v2. They're strong in 1v1. So very different in styles compared to the teams, as Pono Sports having a strong 2v2 and an ace match. Where Kingdom Dragon X, they likely to win the 1v1 but lose the 2v2. If they win out against Mikamboya and Raiki Jones tonight, they will just finish off, as Expo Master took that first set already.
Yeah, this is the first time we see the pairing of Ho and July. Usually it's Ho and Big Daddy who play the 2v2 match for Kingzone Dragon X. But July, a new player in the 2v2 realm for this team, so there is no information about what he will do, what kind of play style he likes. Is he going to be running the team? Is he going to be, you know, we don't know. But Balloon and Tornado banned. Now, Tornado, Balloon, we've seen quite a few times getting banned, but I think most of the time it's usually Poison and Tornado.
Did have 2 Poison and Tornado 2v2 yesterday as well. Tornado always being banned. But here we have July, who actually played in week 2 with Expo Master was the pair against OG and Entus, and ever since that, no games played from July, no 1v1 at all, and only 1 set of 2v2. So basically no information, close to no information on July, what he's going to do. And let's see how he pairs up with Ho, who has been playing a lot with Big Daddy. But not today, Big Daddy's not here to save the day.
I don't know if Big Daddy saves the day, but usually he does play these 2v2s, and I think together they have a positive win ratio, right? Big Daddy and Ho?
It's got to be a positive win ratio. It's always positive. It can't be negative win ratio.
You can have a negative. Well,
yes.
Yeah, you're right. All right. For me, a positive win ratio is over 50%.
Over 50. I know what you mean, but just to be technically correct.
Someone take G-Clef outside and show him what a negative win ratio looks like.
Oh. when I played at Grand Challenge, yes, that's a negative win ratio for me.
100 gems, 0-3. It's painful when it happens.
Actually 4-3 this morning, so quite proud of that. And of course, as always, after seeing the ban card, they will have 3 minutes to build their decks. Let's see. And in terms of teamwork, I do trust a lot more personally for Mikamboya and Raiki Jones, who has been playing over and over again together. And let's see how July, how well they prepare. They do have the team house as well.
Yeah, the 2v2 here, I think... Do you think, actually, we will see the Lava Hound Night Witch clone deck that we saw last week?
Oh, can continue. Against the Tornado, it's really hard, but when that is banned out, we have been seeing some clone, even with the skeleton, a giant skeleton as well, which was actually not a very positive trade yesterday. We did see Expos. in 2v2.
I
That
saw
did happen.
that, yeah.
And
Didn't work though.
it just happened. It was placed in the arena, and let's not talk about it.
I think 100% today we're going to see Executioner, just in case we do get those clone shenanigans. And Executioner deals with it so handily, it's unreal.
Yeah, even without the tornado. And I think very likely we will also see some other spells as well. One of the first days we saw Arrow spell being used in 2v2 and also in 1v1 because of so many different cards right now that has to be dealt with. So bringing as maximum up to 7 spells within the 2 players.
I don't think we're going to see that many though. I think maybe we will see the arrows because you can get so much value on that. If they drop down minion horde with any kind of goblin or anything like that underneath, it will die to 1 set of arrows.
Yes. And that's usually the reason behind the arrow has been the minions. The minion horde has been having a great offensive move with the miner that could just destroy the tower. And Zap doesn't take it out. Log, of course, doesn't take it out, so you need something else. Fireball can happen, but arrows shoot faster, bigger of a range, deals with a lot of the ground units as well. So we are ready to jump into 2v2 Mikan Booyah. Reggie Jones from Pono Sports. Ho and July for the first time of the duo pair up from Kings on Dragon X. See you in game 1.
Alright, we do have to say that Mikan Booyah and Raiki Jones are probably favorites in this 2v2 because they have played so many games together, because they have such a strong win ratio, because as a single unit, Mikan Booyah, amazing. Raiki Jones, amazing. But we haven't seen that kind of solo play from King's Own Dragon X. Ho and July. July has never played a 1v1. Ho's 1v1 has not been the strongest either.
This 2v2 from Pono Sports actually also has 3 out of 3. Only played by the Japanese teams as well yesterday. With the barrel, with the Dark Goblin. And see how well the defense connects this time. Another miner.
Perfect fireball, taking out all those lava pups. But there is a poison down there. The miner's there too. And that Inferno Dragon is actually super healthy for King's Own Dragon X. If that could get anywhere near the tower, it would have been great. But the skeletons coming out of that destroyed tombstone do distract it long enough.
And the miner did most of the damage, about 1,000. Not alone.
Princess has been a very key card in 2v2. We do see it a lot, and it is such a good card. That AoE is just nuts.
Along with the barrel, just throwing out that log has been not the sole reason, but one of the biggest reasons why you put in the Princess along with all the units. Not the Rascals, of course. And it seems like so far Kingdom Dragon X not really having any spells like the log or the arrow to take care of most of the units that are available from Pono Sports.
Yeah,
they even had to throw down a fireball to start us.
Yeah, but they do have Poison, Zap, Fireball. Those are 3 very powerful spell cards. When put in a deck like this, there's the Lava Pups. The Pups are dealing damage, but the Miner in the back again dealing a ton of damage. And that tower is just going down. The Rage spell on the Inferno Dragon.
Even the Dark Prince onto the right side. Princess does take it down. Another Miner will come. Has to use the Fireball, I believe. With the last barrel, maybe the Zap actually missed.
Guards is another good counter to the barrel if they're placed in the right spot, which they kind of were there. They did get 1 hit, maybe 2 hits off. But here we have the Lava Hound again. Inferno Dragon down on that left-hand side, but the right-hand side tower is also very exposed. And in come the Lumberjack and Dark Prince. That could deal so much damage if it connects to the tower.
It's coming, but the real damage comes from the miner. It will connect. Look at that one, down to 200, and both of the towers super low. So any of the damage from Kingdom Dragon X will finish. That's the fireball for the win.
Exceptional 2v2 there from Ho and July. It looks like July has actually been in the hyperbolic time chamber these last few weeks while he's been hidden away playing 2v2 that strategy worked so well that they could have 2-crowned at the same time.
Yeah, if they had maybe 10 more seconds, they could have just thrown anything. Just use a poison onto the other side and take 2 crowns. That was still possible.
Just insanely good 2v2 there. And with Ponos using their timeout in the first set, they're not going to be able to use it this time. I think they might have needed it though.
Like the play of Kings and Dragon X, where they actually use lots of fireballs. Oftentimes what we saw yesterday was, do I really hold on? Do I really use the fireball and lose the value? Because I will be losing the elixir trade against the barrel just by 1. But if that happens over and over again, I'll be losing a lot more. But they didn't even think about it. They just threw down the fireball. If they didn't have anything else, Zap is never enough for the barrel. And they just threw down that fireball, I believe 3 to 4 times. Not really waiting, getting any damage done from the barrel directly to the tower. And they made it work.
It's definitely a valuable trade at this point because you don't want to take damage onto that tower from the barrels over and over again. Even 1 hit per barrel is a lot of damage. So if you don't have the log, the fireball is a perfectly good trade there. It is worth saving every centimeter, every point of health on that tower.
And I was also amazed where a barrel came out, of course, in the triangle. Then they would have the guards to take care of the 2, and then a Mega Minion off to the other side. So they take all 3 together. That's the teamwork that we are seeing from Ho and July. Let's see if that continues or a bounce back from Mikan Booyah and Reggie Jones. Game 2, on your way.
So Mikan Booyah, Reiki Jones in blue, the bottom for Ponos Sports in Japan. Ho and July for Kingzone, Dragon X, and Korea at the top in red. There's a Tombstone, there's a Poison, and a Golem summoned for Ponos Sports.
Very similar deck composition for both teams, I would say. You see lots of Princes as well as the Rage. Depend on the cycle a little bit.
It's a very heavy spell deck from Kingzone Dragon X here with that Rage, with that Poison, with that Sap. That's a lot of cards there. And we see the Inferno Dragons being connected. The Poison does drop down, but the Prince is there to clean it up. Great cleanup there by Kingzone Dragon X, and suddenly this push is looking like it might connect and deal a little bit more damage, but unfortunately the guards come in, distract everything, and the Inferno Dragon will not connect to the tower.
If you leave it, it will connect, but barely doing scratches.
Bit of a tickle, I would say. But the Golem coming through now for Ponos Sports. What can they build behind this Golem that will cause them to push through and take this victory? The Inferno Dragon is there. Bats, great answer, but they're zapped. Electro Wizards coming down to try and nullify the Inferno Dragons from each side. That Inferno Dragon from Ponos Sports is still alive.
Rage dropped down by Ponos as well. Less effective this time as the Golem went down pretty quickly, even before the Rage was dropped. Not much of damage being done. Actually, that makes me wonder. All the electricity stuff stuns everything, right?
Yes.
Why not Tesla?
I know, but Tesla would be OP
I know.
if it could stun. If Tesla had mini stun on every hit, we just would never see a game without Tesla. Double Golem here. That's a very expensive push, but it doesn't look like Kingzone Dragon X have the tools to defend a double Golem push here. Guards come down, distracting that Inferno Dragon. There's the Rage for Kingzone Dragon X, but it's not going to help. That Inferno Dragon is going down.
That's already been spent by Ponos, but you have double the Golem. Inferno Dragon was actually doing attacks to the bats, so they lost a lot. The second Rage comes in. Ponos having the Golem do direct damage to the tower. Electro Wizard trying to stop that from happening, but look at the numbers going down pretty quickly.
That tower is doomed. Falls right there, and there's still so much remaining. They're going to deal a ton of damage onto that King Tower. There are 10 seconds left, and I do not think Kingzone Dragon X have the tools here to deal that much damage. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ponos Sports take game number 2.
they need to, as timeout has been already called in the first set. They can't even call for another timeout, of course. Only one available per match. And it's actually a timeout from Kingzone, in this case, where they want to finish, to not go to the ace match, because very likely, close to 234%, that Mikambuya will be playing that ace match. And so far, he did not lose a single 1v1.
I want to see it go to an ace match. Expo Master versus Mikamboya, yes please.
That will be the highlight match for sure if that happens. So before that, Kings and Dragon X just limiting the possibility, trying to have a lower number of possibility going towards that ace match. And in July, if they post something like what they did in Game 1, which was very possible, which is still very possible in Game 3 as well. Want to finish it right here, taking that 2v2 as well, after Expo taking not a clean one, but taking the first set with 2-1 against Fuchi.
But there is a reason why Expo Master is 15-8. He always loses that first set. He always loses game number 1 and then wins game number 2 and 3. Like, he rarely 2-0s anybody. But let's talk about this 2v2. Timeout has been called. 1 minute remaining. Will Kingzone Dragon X go back to that first deck? I feel like they should, because they executed it perfectly. That second game, not so perfect on their execution. Plus, Ponos Sports had such a powerful push with double golems, with just the Inferno Dragon, with the Mega Minion, the Rage. Everything in that deck was just so powerful.
Maybe time to have their own golem push, but they're in a cycle where they just had golem plus the prince pushing in. Lots of the bats spent together, so a single zap took both of the bats out at the same time. Inferno Dragon not really landing on the golem was also a big problem. And I think if Kingzone Dragon X, they saved up their zap to have better values, taking out most of the small air units, maybe they could have defended that a lot better at the late part of game number 2.
Yeah, they could have used it to reset the Inferno Dragon, but I don't think it mattered that much. Just whatever was built behind that double golem push was just so strong. The Mega Minion, the Inferno Dragons. I just cannot imagine what Kingzone Dragon X could have done with that deck to defend that huge Elixir push right there.
You know, I always talk about this, but with any card, it's possible in 2v2. We even have the Bomb Tower.
I was just going to say Bomb Tower is so good against golems.
But no cannons yet. Are we ever going to have cannons?
I think cannons and Elite Barbarians have the same probability of showing up. But we are about to drop into game number 3 of set 2 between Ponos Sports and Kingzone Dragon X.
Here we go, ready barrels. We heard the sound even before the screen popped up.
Barrels flying.
Make that 4.
Absolutely everywhere. My goodness.
Look at how well each team. Let's see if. Yeah, very likely Ponos will also have the same. Look at how well they use the Dark Goblin. That's going to be one of the most valuable cards in this matchup. You want to maximize your damage, quick range, very quick attack speed as well.
Japanese teams have been using the Dark Goblin for such a long time. I feel like they're going to be in a much better position when it comes to their usage. Incoming rocket. Boom. Misses the Inferno Dragon. Oh dear, oh dear.
Doesn't matter too much. Let's go down to the poison regardless. Getting that value with the log, taking out the barrel as well as the Dark Goblin.
Skeleton barrel as well. Just so many barrels in this game. There's another one. The Dark Goblin isn't going to connect, but the log comes in. Perfect timing, taking out everything.
Oh, that Dark Goblin actually survives. Throws 2 more to the tower.
Dark Goblin is such a good card.
3. Only 2. Never mind.
In G-Cliff, all the 3 is a 2, right? Barrels again.
The numbers work against you. You see, look at that fireball. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do when
But
you
they
need
locked
it.
and firebolt there. That was a bit of a waste of elixir, right?
Yeah, but you just have to sometimes when you don't have the best one. And the log came right after.
Yeah, but I don't think they needed to throw that log. It just gives them a bit of a disadvantage here. But will King's Own Dragon X be able to capitalize? I really don't think they will. They're very far behind right now. 781 remaining on that top left-hand tower. There's the log again, taking out the Goblin Barrel. There is a Rascal Girl surviving, but not for long. And it just doesn't look like King's Own Dragon X have the tools to push forward, even though both these decks are relatively the same. Like, Ponos Sports is just getting such a good trade on everything.
Finally, in the Dragon X, they are pushing in a little more, but look at those Dark Goblins. Poison will take him out eventually, but push has been made already, and great way of defending.
Skeleton Barrel as well, dealing damage there. Another log comes in, taking out that. Both teams exchanging barrels once again. Guards used for Ponos
Who activates
Sports.
the King Tower as well, and only 7 seconds left in the same. And Ponos Sports, they do have the damage, and Fireball locked in.
It's 1. Boom. Where's 2? I don't know if they have a second, but it's going to be in the cycle. So, King's Own Dragon X have to make it all happen before that Fireball can
Log
return.
with that will just finish the game. The barrel does come out from Kings and Dragon X, but look at that log and the zap. Ponos Sports will bring the victory for themselves.
Bit of a fusion dance there, showing that both these players pretty much an Archon right now. Their minds are completely in sync. And again, Ponos Sports show that their 2v2 is just unstoppable.
They were doing a little more damage with the spells, and over the time period, stacked up, doing thousands of damage to the tower. Barrel's actually not really connecting at all for either sides, but it's mostly just baiting out the spells. And Dark Goblin, great use for both sides. The main source, of course, missing the Infernal Dragon, which didn't matter too much, but the rocket is a heavy one to do direct damage, and once they threw the rocket, King's Own Dragon X, maybe they thought they could have a lead by taking some HP off of the tower, but they were actually losing the elixir trade right after.
Yeah, it just didn't work very well for them here, but this first game was executed so well. Really surprised they didn't come back to this deck. Just the Lava Hound, the Inferno Dragon, the Miner in that back just dealt so much damage. But it ended up going, like, I would say the best card usage there for King's Own Dragon X was that Lumberjack. That Lumberjack just enabled so much from King's Own Dragon X, bringing both towers down to, like, Fireball or Log Zap range. Just so strong there.
Yeah, look at that. And even with the King Towers are surprised, and they will wake up for the defense, but way too late. This push, that was a double golden push, I believe.
Yeah, it was. And what can you do against that? I just don't know. Double Inferno Dragon with good connections, that's about all I can think of. We saw that rocket there kind of wasted, didn't really hit the Inferno Dragon. I feel like that was a bit of a mistake from King's Own Dragon X. It put them very far behind, and they just didn't really recover from that after that.
And it's the kind of mistake that you see lots of elixir spent onto one, then you will be losing in your defense right after. Ponos Sports just understanding the elixir trade and getting the value out of it with their Fireball, even though they were losing in the trade. And you were kind of saying the Fireball, they lost the elixir, but sometimes you just have to deal with the barrel when you don't have the exact spell. Log coming in as the next card, you do know that, but you can't bring that into the game right off.
Yep. So, the ace match. I've already written down my prediction. What is your prediction?
I'm not going to make a prediction because I know what's going to happen. I can't even call it a prediction. It is going to happen. It is the future, and I know the future. You guys all know the future as well.
If this matchup gets denied by either team, I'm gonna go into their like rooms later and just like throw my papers at. Why didn't you give me Mick Camboya versus Expo Master?
Yes,
Because that is the matchup I want to see
I've
right
seen
now.
1,400 million futures, and only one of those, only one of those future
Resulted in a victory for Kingzone Dragon X. Is that what you tried to say?
happened to have someone else. No Expo Master, no Mikambuya. So that's how likely we're going to have those two players for the ace match. And for the ace match, maybe it's the first time, just like Shun yesterday for Japanese team, the strongest 1v1 player recording the first loss on their ace match. Very likely, but we do have the players ready, it seems like. And let's get to find out finally who it's going to be.
Please, 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 please. Don't deny me this
Do
chance.
we really need to say that many please?
I
to
have
Mika
to.
Booyah out here, yes.
There is Mick Camboya.
He's here.
The
6.6k trophy.
Absolute stone cold killer when it comes to these ace matches. 6 wins, 0 losses. He hasn't lost a single game when it comes to these ace matches, where he always plays 1v1. But who are we going to see from Kingzone Dragon X? There is no other option, right? It has to be. Please tell me it is.
Can be July with no data on 1v1. That can be somewhat upsetting. But it is going to be Expo Master, as everyone basically knew. Look at that.
Yes!
The best player of Korea and best player from Japan going against each other. This is the real ace match, Simon.
This is the match I've been dreaming about since the start of this tournament. Expo Master versus me, Camboya. I have no idea what we're about to see, but it is going to be an absolute masterclass of Clash Royale.
Who won in your dream?
You know, it always got to like game 1, Expo Master would lose. Game
And you
2,
suddenly jump
he
into
would
the
win.
arena and then you destroy everything?
No,
Was
no,
that the
no.
dream?
No. Like, Expo Master would win game 2, and then I would wake up before game 3. But the exact same bans that we had in set number 1. Expo ban this time from Mick Camboya. And again, the Elixir Collector from Expo Master.
The same. See, the trend has been Rascal so much. Especially the Japanese players. Loving that barrel play. It's understanding how to counter against the work around. For today, not really having the best results. But it seems like even Kingdom Dragon X has adapted into the barrel deck as well. And they have a lot of the Korean players were saying last weekend that deck is really strong, but it's going to die out very quickly. We'll see. Week number 6 still continuing to be in play,
But
and
it is
about
dying.
half of the games. Is it dying? No.
Have we seen it win today? No.
Yes, a 2v2. Just now.
Doesn't count. When it comes to
Yes,
1v1
it does.
when it comes to 1v1 matches, 2v2 results do not count. I think there's just way too many answers, and putting in the Rascals in most decks is just a bit overkill.
I think it's very early to say when still the stats do tell you in the same patch just by having day 1 and day 2. 3 wins, 1 loss with the barrel. Hey, that's 75. Can't really say that's dying out.
It lost once. It's a dead deck. That's how I play.
How many
Clash-
games did you lose?
I lost all the games. I play.
How are you
deathmatch.
alive?
I have no idea. I play deathmatch Clash Royale. I play a deck. If it loses, it is out of there. I'm not playing that ever again. That's how I play Clash Royale, and that is why my trophy count looks like a roller coaster right now, because it just goes up and down, up and down.
Excuses, Simon.
It's not excuses. It's the truth. Okay. All right,
Okay,
but we
let's
do
talk
see.
talk here, but you can't make excuses in this competitive if you lose. You're into the fair fight. You do have all the data weeks before. Prepare against this matchup, which we knew that it was coming if it came down to ace match. That's why Kingdom Dragon X, they called for a timeout before the final 2v2 game. Nick and Booyah, Reiki Jones, the duo, the pair, brought the win for themselves. And once they did, it was quite scary because Mick and Booyah coming out to the ace match all the time, winning everything basically.
This is the dream matchup. This is the #1 player from Korea that everyone is saying this is the one we have to watch out for. And the #1 player from Japan that everyone is saying this is the guy we have to watch out for. This is a true clash of the Titans. There's still 40 seconds left until this game. Can we just hurry time up? I just want to get into this game.
Okay, Simon, they're still changing the deck. They're making sure they have the right card. First of all, make sure no expos, no elixir collector, of course. But other than that, just having final checks with the spells. And of course, do bring your friend. You do want to... that's the thing, when you write an essay, always make sure your friend proofreads it before you send it to your teacher or
That's a
professor.
terrible idea. What if they copy it and submit it first, and then you get caught for plagiarism when you wrote it? See, I don't trust my friends. This is the problem, I think. They copy me.
You don't have to be in the same class, Simon. Okay? You have different majors. Not all of your friends are in the same major or in the same class. Or it's the same teacher. That could be a trick for you guys out there. But
Cheating is bad, guys.
I
But
know.
we are about to get into this game. Mikamboya versus Expo Master. Battle of the Titans here. Let's get into it as soon as possible. I feel like that introduction there took an extra 10 seconds from what it usually does. But we have Mikamboya for blue, for Panos Sports, Expo Master, Kingzone, Dragon X in red. Let's get into this.
it's usually what happens when we have an exciting matchup. The Korean caster will go forever. Look at that log. Another Rascal deck, very likely.
I wish I had a big stick right now and I could poke them and say, do something. But we see the miner come down from Panos Sports. King
Okay.
Expo Master didn't look happy with that positioning of where he put his guards. Takes a bit of damage on that tower.
It was quite risky, but this, for the starting hand at least, guarantees that there's no tornado from Expo Master. Because that miner was going to be pulled easy if tornado was available.
We see the Hunter here, so maybe we're going to see Hog Rider.
An early spawn
Panos.
of Hunter.
There's the Inferno Dragon Lava Hound combo here. What can he do? Mega Minion comes out, but there's just going to be so much damage here from Expo Master.
Ice Colon taking the damage instead. And Poison. Look at that defense from Mikamboya. Beautiful.
Inch. Perfect defense. And it would look like such a powerful offense too. Like, what would you normally do? That Ice Golem absolutely clutched that defense. And that miner is going to town on that tower, taking it down to 1,470 hit points.
I'm getting chills just by replaying that defense in my head right now. That was amazing. And the reason why he used the Hunter, I was saying, oh, that's a little early, but he wanted to cycle his hand, make sure he has a spell and all the cards he needs to defend against this push. It's coming again.
Royal Ghost did so much damage too. Expo Master's just not defending things. He just wants this push to work. And it doesn't. The Hunter going to town on that Inferno Dragon. And the balloon comes in on the other side. But there is so much committed to that right-hand side from Mikamboya. Is he going to be able to defend the balloon? The Mega Minion says
with the Mega
yes.
Minion at the perfect path. We'll just deal with it 100%. We'll get the explosion damage, but attack from both sides. Down to 500 already, but still the push from left side is continuing with the miner and the Mega Minion connecting directly to the tower. This may actually be just a tower down, going down. And that's going to be it. 20 seconds left for Expo Masters to come back, but 1758. What can he do right now?
Nothing apparently, because that balloon is going to go down. And just 10 seconds remain. Expo Master knows it's over. He knows he cannot do anything. I think he's just making sure that he doesn't lose 2 towers here. And that is it. Mikamboya, dominant display against Expo Master. Game 1, but don't worry. Expo Master always loses game number 1 and will win game number 2. It happens all the time.
Hey,
Let's
don't
not
worry. Mikambuya takes one more game and that's game over.
I want us to go to a game 3. This is Expo Master versus Mikambuya. Mikambuya showed in that game that he is an absolute clinical masterclass in defense.
So not worry, Mikambuya will take game 2 as well. That was insanely beautiful to watch. And the way he defended with the cycle, which was not really perfect. If I had that hand, I would panic 100%, saying, what the heck do I do with these cards?
Stone cold. Didn't seem
Trusting
to get
in trusting in his poison, just buying just enough time with the Ice Golem. That was... I don't think beautiful is the right word.
Clinical.
It was like looking at some
It was
some
divine
new life.
intervention.
Yes, divine.
It's like putting your eyes upon the best thing you can ever imagine, and you're just there like, wow, starstruck.
It's like going on top of Grand Canyon and looking around you and saying, wow, this is... I've never seen this before.
Nobody does that. You stand on top of the top of the Grand Canyon and go, it's a hole.
I didn't go there, so I don't know.
Me neither. I've never been. I'm just assuming people think it's a big hole. But we are about to get into game number 2 between these. Their time for messing around with their decks is over. So we're just waiting for these players to get in. We can see Mikambuya kind of meditating here before he gets into this game. Expo Master, though, looking like he always does, just standing there in front of his device. Let's get in to game number 2.
Here we go, only one more needed by Mikambuya last time. Tried it with the Hunter. And it's really hard as you really have to win the elixir. You have to understand and win out hard in the defense that you can actually send the miner. And once again, may actually be the same deck for both sides.
This time a much better defense from Expo Master, though, because he put down those guards in exactly the right position, making sure that his tower took 0 damage.
Ooh, a different one, actually. For a second, I thought with the Ice Golem.
The poison actually didn't connect to the Dark Goblin as much, and does get another 2 darts onto that tower. Incoming the miner, incoming the minions. The Mega Minion for Mikambuya is not going to clean this up very quickly, and a zap does take 500 damage.
Or straight, of course. Poison was not the best starting end for Mikambuya in this case, but does have the cycle now with Ice Spirit even walking slowly towards it.
Prince versus Royal Ghost. The miner comes in behind, is going to start attacking that Prince, but I think the miner is going to go down. There we go. Suddenly this looks decent push. I think Prince has a little bit too low a health, but does push it in. Does connect onto the tower. 13:25 remaining.
And maybe the same for the other one, as the miner's still attacking onto it.
14:06. Expo Master in a very, very strong position right now. Has been defending a whole lot better than game number 1.
Certainly, with lots of pushes connecting the miner, and even the charge was kind of unexpected. Maybe Mikambuya thought it was going to go down right before.
Especially when the Prince had no health remaining. That Prince would have died to a zap. It would have died to pretty much anything. And the Mega Minion does take out that Dark Goblin. The Prince charging down that side. He's going to connect onto the Royal Ghost. Whoop. Miner again down that left-hand side. This time with minions. They do get poison. They do get Electro Wizard. I don't know what I was trying to say there. But that tower is still going down. 742 remaining on the left-hand side.
But a pretty strong P.E.K.K.A. from Mikambuya now incoming. Dark Goblin doing some work, and Ice Golem not going towards the other side with the pull, but still will connect with the guards now.
Yeah, but unfortunately that Royal Ghost is going to go to town. The P.E.K.K.A. does go down. She is gone. The Prince here trying to do what he can. but that is one very healthy P.E.K.K.A. Luckily, it got pulled away by that Ice Golem.
Pull for days with the Ice Golem can happen. Mikambuya typing up with another miner. Trying to do some damage, but not much of a follow-up from Expo Master either. Just has been positioning in the defensive mode. And P.E.K.K.A. will get not too far away.
Still had to take one step.
Ooh, we'll get charging.
Hits.
Oh, barely stopped with the Ice Spirit in time.
But I have to say, Expo Master is in such a good position here. But that P.E.K.K.A. is coming. It is full health. Incoming log. There's a poison. That's going to just get rid of everything that could distract. The Ice Golem there. Perfect pull once again.
For basically everything except for the Electro Wizard. Yeah, pull for days.
There's the miner on the left-hand side. Going to town. 2 hits, 3 hits. Is he going to get 4? 4 hits there. And the charge. Game over. Expo Master takes game number 2 with some incredible defense and such effective offense there. Yes.
A single Ice Golem to pull everything.
Just like my dream.
These two players are on top of each other. Kind of knew there had to be something like a heavy one, or either the Giant or the P.E.K.K.A. Not the Golem, I think that was way too heavy for Mikambuya, but Ice Golem pull just enough to actually bring it close to the guards or go around the bridge. But when you also have your miner, also the Prince to charge in to do the damage, Mikambuya was off to a no answer zone.
What could you do at that point? Pulling away all that offense, just taking it into no man's land. Nothing in that middle. Also bringing it down your own side a little bit. Pulling it onto the healthier tower. It just buys so much time to finish that tower off when it only has 500, 600 HP. Perfect, perfect positioning. Making sure as well that the P.E.K.K.A. could never catch up to that golem, because if it does, suddenly he has a very healthy P.E.K.K.A. that's going to push onto a tower. P.E.K.K.A.s eat towers for breakfast.
I eat cereal.
P.E.K.K.A.s eat towers, my friend.
Are you sure?
I am 100% sure. Mini P.E.K.K.A.s eat ice golems. P.E.K.K.A.s eat towers. That's just mommy and daughter kind of cereals right there. But we do see Mikambuya preparing himself once more for this game. Expo Master's probably got a big smile on his face.
The final game is ready though, Simon. Let's go right into it. Game 3 between the final one to decide the winner and the team winner as well between Pono Sports and Kings on Dragon X.
So Mikambuya has lost his first game.
First game. Like, not the set. First game in 1v1.
Expo Master, though, always loses at least once. As standard, as predicted, as prophesized. Using that zap there just to cycle a little bit. And it looks like we're going to get down to a 1-minute showdown here. Oh, there's the miner. Dropped in Mega Minion on the defense. That's perfectly acceptable defense there. It does get 2 hits and then dies to the tower. Mega Minions here. Going to meet in the middle. Giant, though, from Expo Master. Interesting choice here. Hasn't built much behind it. The lightning comes in. Didn't hit the tombstone, but so much damage is getting done. The Mega Minion and the Giant there, taking that tower down to 1,600, but
3 punches. The Rascals are coming. Expo Master does have the log, and the Mega Minion will just pull away some damage, but the miner keeping the damage onto that
Minion
tower.
just walked away. Look how much health that miner still has remaining. It is going to absolute town right now.
Man.
1,362. That miner did 1,200 damage pretty much, and Expo Master does not look happy about that. That is not what you want to see from a miner.
Oh, Lava Hound. Mikambuya wants to make his push once again. And the usual push that we saw from the Lava Hound. And basically Miner doing all the damage. That's what Mikambuya wants to play. Nothing else will really connect all the way. And he also has Tombstone of his own.
Yeah, that's going to distract everything there. The Lumberjack comes in though. The Lumberjack, such a good card here, but he's been pulled very far to the left.
Look at
Is
that
he going to go
log
to the left
value.
tower? But look at that top side. That Lava Hound is going to town. The minion there missed the zap. Oh my goodness. 825, 500, 400. That tower is gone. Expo Master has 45 seconds to rescue this game.
A mistake
Otherwise,
there.
Ponos is going to take the victory. Another Lava Hound being summoned though.
He wants to push in. He wants to keep on going for the offense, making sure he has the pressure. Expo Master putting in everything, but Tombstone again available for Mikambuya as well as the Rascals. It should be coming right after the log.
Yeah, what are we going to see? Is that Giant going to be able to
Not
do
even needed.
1,500? No, it's not. One hit, and Mikambuya knows that he has taken this game. How dare Expo Master ruin his 100% win record in this tournament so far?
Still has a set score. It will continue. And even with the Lumberjack and the Dark Prince, will not do enough damage in 2 seconds. That's it. The winner, Mikambuya from Pono Sports, brings it back to his team once again. What an incredible player, and the team having great defenses. His defenses are pitch perfect.
Yeah, Mikambuya looks exhausted after that, but you got to give it to him. He played phenomenal Clash Royale here. Perfect defense in game 1, very calculated offense in game number 3, and it was just a bit too much for Expo Master to take. He couldn't do it. He couldn't win that game.
It was close, and also even made a mistake of the zap right before the pubs, and not really even, I don't think it even landed onto the miner
No,
right
it didn't,
before
not
that
at
miner
all.
popped off from the ground.
Just perfect play by Mikambuya, showing why everyone is scared of this guy. He is just phenomenal. If you want to beat Ponos Sports, you have to beat them before they can get to this ace match, because once Mikambuya comes out in 1v1, it is game over.
Yes, even the Japanese players in the same region has been saying, who's the best Clash Royale player that you look up to? Mikambuya has been most of the answers from lots of Japanese players as well. He has been picked by one of the strongest player from many of the Korean teams and also Southeast Asian teams as well now. He's going to continue his streak on D1, never dropping a set. He dropped the games. It was his first game in week 6. What an amazing player.
Yeah, it does show that he can bleed, however, and going forward, will there be weaknesses exposed from what we've seen today? Maybe Mikambuya losing that set will open up the floodgates for other teams to analyze where his weaknesses are, because now he has a weakness. He has lost 1 game, and I think it's possible.
Single game though. Well, look at the win rate. 8-1. I think that's close to 90%-ish. But we do have the interview, and guess who it is? It's going to be Mikambuya.
한국 홈그라운드에서 펼쳐지는 한일전 둘째 날. 그 첫 번째 매치는 포노스와 킹존의 대결이었는데요. 그 결과
6-2, we did have
깊은 승리로
Sports
공동 1위에
versus
올라선 포노스 팀.
Kingdom Dragon X with the win. They will actually tie up in the first place. Let's get to meet,
こんにちは。
talk to
킹존과의
Mikambuya.
경기에서 승리하셨어요. 소감 한 말씀
Won your
부탁드릴게요.
first match tonight. How
ど
do you feel right now?
そうですね。まず1セット目を取られてしまって、で追い込まれたんですけど、その後2セット目も第1セット取られてしまって追い込まれたんですけども、その後何度かチーム力で勝てたんじゃないかなと思います。
저희가 1세트를 졌고 심지어 2세트 첫 경기를 저희가 졌기 때문에
Losing the first
굉장히
set
몰아붙었던
and the first game
상황이었는데요.
of set
그래도
2.
저희가 팀을
It was really a tough
좀
situation for
발휘해가지고
us.
이겨냈었습니다.
But I think we could
미캄보야
come back from that
선수는
one, trusting in each other. I think it was possible. And we made it happen.
출전하셨어요. 이유가 있나요?
Instead of going out for the 1v1, you came out for 2v2. Was there a reason for that?
予想してたんですけど、なぜ2対2に出演する理由をちょっと教えてください。
そうですね。まず1対1に最初出て、チームからの信頼が大きいんですけども、最初の1対1で負けてしまった時のリスクが大きいかなと思って2対2を選択しました。
제가 아무래도 1대1을 좀 맡아서 하고 있지만 1대1
Even though I play 1v1.
지기도 했고요 오늘 실제로. 하지만 뭔가 2대2를 오늘 해가지고 그 리스크를 감수할 수 있는 그런 것들이 있지 않았을까 싶어서
I think
오늘 2대1을
I think this type of strategy that we have for B2Play and 2v2 actually lowers the risk of losing. I think that's one of the biggest part why we have this play style.
三河選手はチームでのコーチとか選手とかもう監督もの役割をしているんですけど、それきつかったりしないんですか？
そうですね、まず選手以外でもこうチームのオーダーを考えたりとか、選手全員の体調をこう見極めるとかもあるので、こう選手以外のところでも結構やることが多くて、まだまだ慣れないところはあります。
저희 선수 외에도 이제 선수들 다른 저희 팀원들의 상태를 좀 파악하거나 오더를 내거나
I think just understanding my teammates,
다양한 역할을 하고 있는 부분에서 아직까지도
their
적응 안 되는
characteristics.
부분이 굉장히 많습니다.
I still have a lot of in detail
네,
making
이칸
mistakes.
선수는 1대1에서 단 한
and
번도
parts
진
that I
적이
lack on.
없으셨는데 오늘 딱 대석장 선수에게 1패를 기록하셨습니다. 어떠셨는지
Finally, you
소감
dropped the
말씀
game against
부탁드릴게요.
Expo Master. How did that
三河
feel?
選手は1対1で負けてないんですけど、今日エクスポマスター選手に対して1回ちょっと敗があったんですけど、それについて一言お願いします。
まあそうですね、僕個人としての成績よりもやっぱりこうチームとしての勝利の方を重視しているので、僕の勝ち負けよりもこうチームが勝ったことが嬉しいです。
개개인의 저희 성적도 제 자신의 성적도 굉장히 중요하긴 하지만 그래도 무엇보다 저희 팀 성적이
Of course, my
가장 중요하기
personal
때문에 그런
record
것을
does matter, but
연연하지 않습니다.
of course,
내일
what matters the
샌드박스와의
most is our
대결이
team
있습니다.
record. So
자신 있으신지 각오한 말씀과 그중
doesn't matter, but
경기하시는
as
비버
long as our
선수에게
team
한마디
wins, it's
해주세요.
I'm fine with it.
明日サンドボックスの戦いがあるんですけど、それに
You have
対
another
しては
match coming up
覚悟の
soon.
一言と
How are you going to
ビーバー
prepare
選手に
for
一言
that
お願いし
matchup
ま
as
す
well?
そうですね、昨日の試合ではビーバー選手大活躍だったんですけども、明日は対戦よろしくお願いします。そしてボノススポーツも全力でぶつかるので勝利を目指して頑張ります。
어제 비버 선수 굉장한 대활약을 보여주셨는데요.
And
내일
yesterday,
잘
Bieber,
부탁드리고요. 앞으로
you
저희도
are really
전력으로
strong.
다하겠습니다.
Let's have a great match today,
네,
tomorrow,
이렇게
and
해서
we will try
포노스가
to do our
게임
best
리드와
tomorrow. Next
공동으로
time.
1위에 올라섰습니다. 진심으로 축하드리면서 내일 있을 샌드박스의 경기도 기대해 보도록 하겠습니다.
They're up against
그럼
Sandbox
잠시 후에
tomorrow. But that was the
데토네이션과
interview
엔투스의
with
경기를 다시 돌아올게요.
Megan
뿅!
Booyah. Kind words from a player.
Yeah, very interesting that he's so humble when he is so good.
Yep, but that's it. That's gonna be it for match number 1. We do have 2 more matches coming up right at you, but right after the short commercial break. Welcome back to Clash Royale League Asia match number 2. It's going to be Detonation Gaming versus OG and Entus. We'll be having the players come up on the stage very soon, but that match number 1, we have to talk about it once again. What a fiery series we had.
Yeah, Japan tying up the series so far 2-2, and Mick Mboya showing why he is considered one of the best players in this region and possibly the greatest of all time. A definite GOAT candidate, I would say.
I actually want to learn from him. I want to grab him, and just enough for me to climb up a little bit higher in the ladder, and how to make that kind of perfect defense all the time. I mean, even Expo Masters team weak against him.
I know what you're like. You give him the device and say, "Show me, show me, show me," and like 10 games later, you're like sitting at the top of the ladder.
No, I want to learn from him. That's how you learn it. But we do have Detonation Gaming and OG and Entus.
We can see Detonation Gaming up on the screen. Lewis, Coop, Pirameki, and Matsumoton. 3 wins, 5 losses, and are currently sitting 9th in the table. Not having the best of runs, I would say.
But yesterday, they took a great win. A quick win, actually, winning 1v1 and 2v2. And 2v2 was actually 2-0. Very dominant performance against OPGG Skeletons. And actually, this is going to be the winners of yesterday, Detonation and OG and Entus. Of course, Detonation, as mentioned before, against OPGG. And OG and Entus against Fav Gaming.
Yeah, OG and Entus have had a bit of a revival lately, but they have been very inconsistent. Very similar to Detonation Gaming. Very inconsistent is a very good description of these teams, because they are both 9th. They are both 3 wins, 5 losses. When they show up, they show up. They play amazing Clash. But when they don't show up, they just get ruined.
Having somewhat roller coaster moments. Yesterday they went all the way. Compared to how easier it looked for Detonation, OG and Entus went all the way to the ace match and the final game as well, playing all 9 games.
They were the last game, right, last night? So they were up, I think, finished 10:45 last night. It was a really late day. And just maybe the tiredness will play into a bit of it here, because it was late when they finished yesterday.
Yeah, it was really late for sure, but against Valve Gaming, still okay. But they actually had Jin TV out, and he brought the arrow in 1v1, which was kind of unusual. We do have the 1v1 players up here on the screen. It is going to be Pirameki from Detonation Gaming. We got the record, still pretty good if you just count the 1v1s and just delete the second line there.
Yeah, 8-5 is a very impressive record. 13 games played, has dropped 5 of them, but that's nothing to be concerned about. He's still very much in the positive. He's taken quite a few games for his team.
And let's take a look at the player from OG and Entus. It is going to be Astro, who only played a single 1v1 set.
And lost 2-1. Whereas Pirameki is, I think, 4-1. Just taking a quick look here. He beat KK, beat Ho, beat Morris Lin, and beat Jin TV. So yeah, he only lost to Beaver, who's been on an absolute tear lately. So yeah, 4-1 for him, playing against a 0-1 from Astro.
And Astro usually paired up with Q-Mills all the time for 2v2. That's why he only has 1 record against Jin TV.
Jin TV won. Taking a look at the results here. Jin TV beat him, but he feels confident enough today that he has been picked for 1v1, and that's probably good for his mentality. He's probably thinking, all right, the team trusted me. It's time to show what I'm made of. But we're going to go into the ban card. Graveyard band from Detonation Gaming's Pirameki, and Giant band from OG and Entus' Astro. We heard in the opening videos that Graveyard is a very strong card for Koreans. They always seem to play it. It seems to be one of those cards that Koreans love to use.
Along with the Tombstone as well. And you could see that from the shift in meta from the Japanese teams, especially because they were not really using the Tombstone. But to counter the Korean players, they have adapted a new playstyle.
It makes you wonder if these Japanese teams are kind of sharing information with each other at this point and pooling their resources, because I mean they are playing phenomenal Clash. Every team from Japan looks like a contender to take this tournament. Maybe they are just like sharing a bit of information, scrimming against each other, making sure that as a region they are all prepared for this tournament.
And Detonation Gaming, one of the biggest esports organizations back in Japan. And you can probably tell by how many stuff they have on their jersey. Look at that. It's like they're in the NASCAR racing where everything is basically painted with all the sponsors, right? The car and their uniform and everything, even the helmet. But that's a lot of sponsor names on that single clothing they have.
It is a lot of sponsors, but it just goes to show that Detonation Gaming is an established team, that they're willing to pick the best players for their team, and they're not looking for just one tournament. As an established team, they're thinking of the future. This is a team that they can look to build on in the future.
They're looking into the long one, but for now, they have to bring this one for their win. Bang the Graveyard did happen once yesterday, so understanding the card, but we're seeing some different cards from the Korean players this time. A Giant, and
it's very interesting though.
Usually I said again from at the beginning of the broadcast today, 3 Musketeers and lots of Tornado Bands from the Japanese side. Lots of 3 Musketeer, and what was the other card that I can't think of it right now off the top of my head for now?
Elixir Collector?
Oh, and a Balloon.
Balloon.
I was bent twice in 1v1 yesterday. It's out of three matches, so quite often.
But Balloon is open here, so will we see the Lava Hound Balloon deck, or will we see even an Expo deck? We can see that it was Astro's most used deck in the Combine, I guess.
Because he only played against GTV once, and that's the reason why. It's his most played deck, because he played 3, and I believe in Game 2 and Game 3 he used the Expo twice in a row, and he only played 3, so that's his most played, of course.
Yeah, we can see Pyrameki. The double Prince has been pretty much a standard meta pick right now, and we're seeing there's a little bit of a change coming in the balance patch on Monday to the Dark Prince, right? Wasn't it?
I don't remember anything about Dark Prince.
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe I don't have everything on top of my head, but lots of changes incoming for sure. Like the HUD change, the Spirit Goblin change, Mega Knight changes as well, Ice Golem, Wizard getting a massive buff.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how that's going to shake up the games next week.
No more Wizard, please.
No, Wizard's fine. What are you talking about?
I used the Bandit, so it's actually okay for me. But
I was Mega Knight I was thinking of.
Mega Knight got some buff,
yeah,
I would say. It's got a huge nerf in the previous patch, so 2v4, yes.
Yeah, so kind of restoring, but not quite a full restoration.
Because we actually, did we ever see a Mega Knight?
I think we've seen it once time, right? Yeah, once or twice.
So we barely. That's actually. We saw a lot more Sparky than the Mega Knight.
Sparky is a good card, that's why. Mega Knight is like one of the weaker legendaries, I would say, in terms of just what he brings to the field right now.
Yeah, too slow.
And compare it to CCGS last year, where we had Mega Knight all the time.
Yeah,
it
was
just
pre-nerf.
Played. So. Yeah, it was pre-nerf, and we saw people were using Cannon Cart as the counter to it. And now we just haven't seen him. It's amazing how he just walked in and walked out of the game so quickly. But hopefully this change does make him a bit more viable for teams, because he is a great card, and I enjoy seeing him being used. Not against me, but I do enjoy seeing it being used.
with the Graveyard and the Giant being banned, they had their 3 minutes to build their deck. Pyrmeki from Detonation Gaming versus Astra from OG and Entus. Ready for our first game here. Let's get it. It's very exciting times with Clash Royale. That this kind of meta shift will be happening monthly now, not every 2 months.
As long as Hog Rider doesn't get buffed ever, or Elite Barbarians never get buffed, I'm perfectly happy in my ladder games. But we have Pyrmeki right now in blue for Japan and Detonation Gaming, who are looking to take the lead over the region of Korea today.
Ooh, Minion Horde. And the Poison.
Poison will take that
So
up.
worth it.
Yep.
Getting that 5 elixir down and also doing damage to the tower. Astra will be happy to take that trade.
I mean, one of the issues for me is about 3 elixir down and there's nothing on the field, but the more that Pyrmeki doesn't play anything, the less that matters, and suddenly that advantage is pretty strong.
Bowler!
Eventually he throws out a rock after targeting the 2 that the Princess Tower targeted. He does get that boulder down, and now he's marching forward. The bats come out. We don't see a zap right now.
Let's see how this works. I have not seen a bowler with the Rascals.
It's pretty strong. It's like the bowler actually has a log in his hands pretty much.
Yes, it does work, and I only played it in the Rascal Draft Challenge. A Rascal Deck Challenge, I would say. I did play a bowler before, but it didn't work for me. Let's see how this deck plays out in the tournament level.
Astro is taking such a commanding lead right now. That tower is down to 1,100.
Because look at that, he does have that log. The perfect counter. And he can't really bait out the log with the bowler. He does have the Rascals off to another lane. So he does have to time it. That's why he's throwing the barrel, make sure he has a better cycle.
Yeah, Pyrmeki is not in the strongest position right now, but his deck is very interesting, combining the bowler and the Rascal, splitting the Rascal girls up here. But look at that miner in the back of the bottom left. It is doing so much damage to the tower, uncontested. Astro throws down his own Rascals right now. They do get logged, but there is nothing remaining here really for Pyrmeki.
So look how full Pyrmeki holds his elixirs all the time. He was wasting so much when Astro can actually do direct damage with the miner. At least few hits, and also the poison landing direct hit onto the tower.
Yeah, this is Pyrameki's chance now. He has to push really hard in this push.
With everything, but look at the
poison. The log's going to come in now too. No, uses the spear goblins instead, and bats being summoned. This is really bad for Pyrmeki.
Look at that miner. Going to come with the bowler. Let's get it away from the tower a little bit, but still. Look at that, down to 504.
None of the bats connected onto the tower. Really good Pyrmeki there. That was very lucky. His Rascals managed to take the full brunt of those bats, meaning his tower was pretty much unaffected from that push.
A mirror used for another Rascals from Pyrmeki, but will lose elixir a little bit more. He has to really go in though. Poison plus the miner may just finish the game. Will be very close with the damage.
Yeah, the Rascal twins there just taking care of the miner, but anything can come down now. The poison will finish this. The log will bring it so close.
The miner will finish it as well.
Yeah. There's so many options to finish this game right now for Astro. Summons the miner, but the miner does get taken down, but that poison spell will finish it off. Astro taking game number 1 against Pyrmeki.
Mirror card. I believe he was holding on to that for a long time, and what I was predicting for a second, just having a mirror onto that minion horde onto left and the right together, making it hard for Astro to defend with only a poison spell, because log, of course, you can't target the minion horde. It's really hard. Poison only can catch one side, so and when you leave that minion horde to go directly to the tower, it will be just deleting, melting amount of damage.
I think the Tesla Tower still would finish off the minions in one shot, right? Even if they're mirrored. They wouldn't? I thought it was... I know equal level they definitely trade. One shot from the Tesla takes down one minion. So is it one level above? It means that they survive.
I think it's
I'm
one
not
level
sure.
above for Tesla. That takes it down. At tournament level, it's 2 shots. Let's take a look. I think let's go back to the highlight and see a little bit more, because from what I remember with my Teslas, that's how it worked at the tournament level. But here, with the graveyard and giant being banned, I guess with the log and how both players are actually using the Rascals to bait out Pyrameki, just holding. It really hinted that because he was holding onto that mirror for the longest time. He had that mirror, and he was just kind of indecisive when to use it, with what card. Do I really copy the Rascals once again? Or is it going to be the Minion Horde or anything else?
Are Rascals really worth 1 extra elixir for 1+ level? I really don't think so. I think he would have been much better playing Minion Horde, as you said earlier.
Uh-huh.
I think
that's your best chance, right?
I think, yeah, that would be the best thing to mirror what we saw. I can't think of anything else that would have worked there.
It was really tough because all the poison was basically taking down on the Minion Horde all the time, and it was also being used as an offensive tool to take down the tower.
Yeah, I can see you just working out some math right now. So we are about to get into game number 2 between Astro and Pyrameki. Pyrameki playing okay, not quite taking out that game, but will he be able to take game number 2 against OGN Entus' Astro? Let's get into the game. So here we go. Astro and Pyrameki. Pyrameki and Astro going head to head here in game number 2. We saw a fantastic play, fantastic offensive showing from Astro last time, and Pyrameki's defense just wasn't quite there to hold it off. Can he change it around in game number 2?
Let's see. It's this time Astro bringing that barrel himself.
Rascals cleaned up that quite nicely, and suddenly it's looking pretty bad for Astro already. Pyrameki looks like he's in a very strong position. The Rascals come very far forward. Skeleton's been summoned to take out the Rascal girls, though. That finishes that.
Ooh,
One
does not
survives.
finish it with the Princess throwing the arrow all the way from the other side. So doing great amount of damage actually to both sides. Pyrameki gets caught with lots of damage. Hog Rider! Haven't seen that card for a long time.
Except on ladder. But there we go. Prince does take down the Royal Ghost. Charge is in right now. Is he going to connect? No. The Ice Golem there does take away that aggro, and a Fireball used right there.
Because the log was used right before, Pyrameki had to have something to deal with the barrel. And he's already down to 1484. He has to use that Fireball.
Yeah, no choice there but to take the negative elixir trade. Princess comes in, gets 1, maybe 2. No. Rascal Boy and the Rascal Girls there take it down instantly. Rascals versus Rascals. Hog Rider coming in from the back. The log does come down. Take out those Rascal Girls. But the Hog Rider goes down before it even gets near the tower. 2,102 remaining for Astro, but Pyrameki's tower 1,344.
Waiting for the spell to be used.
Spear Goblin connecting there. Got 3
Few shots.
spears. Yeah, pretty valuable Spear Goblin there. The barrel comes in. There's the Fireball again. He cannot afford to take any more damage. Princess is going to get 1 shot off, and then the Royal Ghost is just going to finish it in 1 shot.
That's the risk, and he is losing the trade overall, even though Astro's not really connecting the direct damage from the barrel. He's winning the elixir trade, and if you stack those up over time, you will get your chances to use a spell like this, the Poison.
Poison does a lot of work, and the Royal Ghost coming in. One of the cards that does have a very high win rate.
3 Musketeers being dropped down, but way too close to the bridge, actually. Hog Rider takes a lot of the damage instead, so 2 of them will survive.
How much work can 2 Musketeers do? They do a
Skeleton's
lot.
not in time. It's close.
We'll take out the Prince, though. There's the barrel. Fireball. No, this time uses the Rascals. That means they do get 4 shots. in there. 506 remaining on that tower. That tower is now very low. Poison is on the table.
Two
Log
poison with a log will be just be it, but this one as a defensive tool just now.
You don't want those.
This
three
Hog Rider will
Musketeers.
actually connect a decent amount of damage in this case. Oh, actually the log catching few of the members from the Goblin Gang as well.
Fireball used there to take out the barrel, making sure that tower does not take any more damage. 422 remaining on it. And his defense now needs to be inch perfect.
Pyramid is suddenly playing so much better of a defense and also offense after the Three Musketeers, but let's see. Time's running out. Working for Astro. One single tower. In overtime, we'll finish the game.
Yeah, his push.
And this may just be it with Princess hitting one more hit, and that's game over.
The Princess there with the 360 no scope, turning around, looking at the Hog Rider while shooting behind her, taking out that tower. Astro.
How can you miss the Hog Rider? Passing right by her.
Knocked her over, but she was spinning
Yes,
around.
of course.
Arrow was already
Yes.
up. She's like, oh, I'll just shoot it this way. Poof. And it hits the tower.
Sometimes she releases the arrow as she goes down at the same time. And it cannot be ignored. It will do direct tower shots all the time if you do not have any answers against it.
Yeah, and as you saw there, you could see that win meant so much to Astro. And Pyrameki's just looking like, he doesn't look like he's happy. But this guy, look at him. He's shaking. He doesn't quite know what to do. He's happy that he's won. He was what, 1-2 before this? He lost one game. Now he's 1-1.
Yeah, he's 1-1.
Rewarded his team.
It came from 0% to 50. that's a big raise for him, certainly. But it also means lack of data for his opponent. Pyrameki was not really. It felt like he was not really ready for this matchup or what to do in the game to adjust to really get his win conditions in the game. Game 1, the mirror really didn't really work. Also came out yesterday. Mirror really becoming a losing card as a surprise tactic.
I'm trying to think where it would be good, and it's very hard to find the correct target at the right time for a mirror. That poison there was just so clutch, and that log just making sure that those Three Musketeers would go down to the poison before they locked onto the tower. Perfect positioning. And there we see the Hog Rider almost making it, but it wouldn't have finished with the Rascals taking it down before it took down the tower. And OG and Entus are 1-up.
1-up for now. It's a clean 2-0. Detonation Gaming having a quick day yesterday with their own win, but so far OG and Entus, and they continue this with their 2v2. We'll see 2v2 duo from Detonation Gaming.
Lewis and Kuhn, 9 wins, 5 losses. Very strong 2v2 team. We have seen a lot of strong 2v2s from the Japanese region. And we see Mikamboya and Reiki Jones dominating. These two, incredibly strong duo.
Yeah, for sure. And with Ku and Lewis, yesterday had 2-0. Very, very quick. And very, very quick. I mean, right at 3 minutes, they were just says, game over. We're going. And that was the first one. The second one, 3 minutes up. We win. Tower down. That was it, basically.
Yeah, their 2v2 between Lewis and Ku have only lost to Southeast Asian teams, actually. They lost to AHQ Esports and they lost to Kicks. And that was a 2-0 loss to AHQ and a 1-2 loss to Kicks. But after that, they've beaten Game With. They've beaten Kingzone.
Lots of 2-0s.
Yeah, they've beaten Sandbox 2-1, and they beat OPGG Skeleton. Their 2v2 is so good. But we see on the screen now, Howl and Q-Mills 1 and 4.
Yeah, they have to play against a new team they have not faced before. As they are the usual duo, I would say. It was usually Q-Mills and Astro. It is not the first time. And Howl did play with Q-Mills twice against OPGG and Fab Gaming, which was just yesterday.
Lava Hound. That is a ban I don't think we've seen so far, right? A Lava Hound ban? Tornado ban, very standard, but the Lava Hound?
I believe just once yesterday. Can't remember if it was a 1v1 but 2v2. Certainly did happen at least once yesterday, and it's because we have so many more logs because of the rascals and the counters to this goes to that and then that, and ends up having a lot of air units, including the Lava Hound and maybe Inferno Dragon, even the baby dragon popping out sometimes. The main problem has been the Minion Horde. Minion Horde, along with the pubs, talk about a lot of units doing damage.
It can also be seen as a direct counter to that, the 1 minute win deck, I'm going to call it, where we see Lava Hound, Night Witch, Giant Skeleton, basically anything that does something when it dies and just cloning it. And we saw that devastate game 1 quite often, but then it usually gets answered by game 2. So maybe we don't want to run the risk of seeing that deck. It does allow them to prepare a lot more decks. I think we're going to see a Golem deck maybe in place.
Certainly
of the
a lot more ground units as we have the Lava Hound ban. Yes, you're right.
Balloon.
Right on the point on that.
Balloon Lumberjack
available. I think even without the Lava Hound, lots of clones are still possible. We even saw some heavy ground units along with Skeleton Barrel being cloned. And actually the Skeletons doing a lot of work.
Skeletons are so good if they can get near the tower, but the problem is it's very rare that you get them at the tower. And it's also, you can use Electro Wizard at the right time to kill all the skeletons as he drops in.
Yeah.
And we've seen a few mistakes with that in the past, where they drop the Electro Wizard a little bit too early.
Because it takes some time for Barrel to actually reach the ground when Electro Wizard just zaps it. And sometimes you're quicker. And the skeletons will actually bring that Electro Wizard down in a second.
Yeah, and then suddenly you have a bunch of skeletons just walking over to your tower and just finishing it off. P.E.K.K.A is a very good shout, I feel. I think we're going to see Golem play. And I feel like if a team brings a P.E.K.K.A, they're going to be able to deal with it very well, especially with the Inferno Dragon as well.
2v2. So important, the teamwork, how you use the spell. Lots of spell doing the most damage to the tower. Lots of poisons, lots of rockets. We'll see some great value. Let's see how they actually manage to use all their spells to get maximum value, the worth. If you catch 3-4 units in the single rocket and take them down at the same time, you're good to go.
It's all about value trades in 2v2. Can you finish off 20 elixir with 1 rocket? If you can, then suddenly you are quids in. Your push is going to be so strong. But if you can't, if you miss, suddenly that 20 elixir is pushing down on your tower and it's over before you can even blink.
First set went to OG and Entus, so Detonation Gaming does need to come back if they want to bring this match into an ace match and then go for the win. 2v2 is ready. Detonation Gaming versus OG and Entus. Let's get into the arena.
All right, here we go. Ku and Lewis in blue for Detonation Gaming at the bottom of the screen. Howl and Q-Mills for OG and Entus at the top. And there is the Golem. But look what is in Detonation Gaming's hand. They have 2 Inferno Dragons and an Electro Wizard.
Let's have the Tombstone for OG and Entus as well, so you can have some defensive move. We'll see. As Poison, doing great amount of value, pushing out the units, and everything in the back line is getting deleted over time.
Yeah, both teams kind of trading their back lines here, but there's so much
The
still
Rage,
remaining.
Dark Prince charging into the tower, doing direct damage. 3 shots.
There's the balloon as well.
Oh, the freeze to stop the balloon and the Infernal Dragon, but only for some time.
Yeah, but once that freeze came down, I saw a little nod from Howl and Q-Mills like, okay, they have freeze, but that gives us a little bit of an advantage coming in here now because that freeze doesn't do any damage. It's 3-4 elixir and it's just slowing everything down. 4 elixir, but they have their own freeze.
Yes,
as you can see
that's
at the top.
the thing. Detonation Gaming does not know that yet, but OG and Entus, they have the information that your opponent has the freeze. So we may actually have a freeze on top of a freeze. That's very likely to happen. OG and Entus keeping their key cards still. The last time it was a rage, maybe Destination Gaming just thinking, oh, we gotta watch out for the rage timing only.
So the Prince is going to come in. Is it going to connect? It connects onto the Golem, dealing some good damage there. But the Golem, look how much damage that Golem has done. 800, 700, 600, 595 remaining on that tower.
Inferno Dragon was put down way too late. They were low in elixir as well. They were also trying to dodge the damage from poison, but the second poison ended up coming from OG and Entus anyhow. There's a rage once again, but they have the freeze as well. Let's take a look if they are actually going to use it. But it's actually a defensive one from Destination Gaming.
The offensive one, if it was going to come, it would have come there, making sure that it connected to the tower, but no need. This is when you want to use freeze. Right there, right on the bridge, making sure that your tower can help the defense.
But the main damage coming from the graveyard. Look at the damage is going in from the skeletons, all the way down to 745.
So much work done by those little skeletons.
Get that late poison. Oh man, OG and Entus.
I feel like that poison should have been used on the defense straight away.
Only 11 seconds left though. It's literally going for the tower. Can we make this attack happen? Spamming all the spells.
Poison coming down, I believe, right there on the tower. 211, 184. But there is
Oh, they
still
need
so much here.
freeze.
There's the freeze.
The Golem going straight in, but the rest of the damage from the spells. OG and Entus, they were spamming everything because the timer ran out with the overtime. Trying to gather something happen. That graveyard was scary.
That was so close. If that poison zap, whatever they threw down there, if that didn't come at that time, they would have lost. Destination Gaming had so much there at the tower ready to finish it off.
Because they basically wasted a poison trying to defend. It was way too late. Graveyard did close to 1,800 damage.
Insanely valuable graveyard there.
Well, still, that was going to be close. Destination Gaming, they were holding on to their real key card. That's why they were using the freeze, thinking that, oh, we already used our key card, but we have something else. Like the graveyard poison, which was good, but only once. Didn't really connect. Golem was too slow, and by the time OG and Entus, they basically knew that they could do a lot more than 211 with what they had. The zap, the poison. And Golem is oftentimes, when Golem does go in, it can do a lot of damage, but it's very slow. That's the thing.
It does give a lot of time for your opponent to react, but the point of the Golem is not how much damage the Golem does itself. The point of the Golem is how close you can get your backup units to that tower. How can you activate something like the Night Witch, where she can get 4, 6, 8 bats out, and then suddenly a tower just goes from full health to dead. As long as that Golem is there soaking up the damage, that Night Witch will continue to spawn. That's what you're trying to do with a Golem deck, is to have that Golem soak up all that damage while your supporting units come and finish it off. But we are about to get in to game number 2 here between Ku and Lewis for Destination Gaming and Howell and Q Mills for OG and Entus.
Right, match point for OG and Entus. 3 wins in a row. And all they need is a 4th.
Once again, we see the Golem this time with the Prince behind and a zap.
Just a cycle. He's waiting for the card.
Here we go. We have both Princes charging up here. The Inferno Dragon summoned. Poison going down. There's so much going on right now. That Golem does push.
Another great poison from OG and Entus, catching basically all the units.
The Golem did fall before it reached the tower though, but there has been a little bit of damage done due to that poison. 2,318. Not the strongest of finishing pushes, but both teams traded very fairly, very equally.
All they have to do is now, they have their second one. But this time, Rage spell is available for OG and Entus. They can speed everything up. And the push with the P.E.K.K.A is kind of slow, so
Look how fast
go
it
all in.
goes once it's raged. So much being done in the middle. That golem from Detonation Gaming is already split. And it's dead. And there is so much here still remaining.
Even the P.E.K.K.A will be going down. This can actually... Oh, down to 342. Inferno Dragon did a lot of damage, but there were way too many units to... A
Put
rage
down
on
their
top with the
own
balloon.
The Inferno Dragon does connect. The Mega Minion is there.
Zap
Was
to
zapped.
reset.
Gets one bomb. Almost got that second bomb off. Down to about 1,300. But there is still 258 hit points on that bottom right tower, which puts Detonation Gaming very much on that back foot.
All OGN, all they have to do is just defend. But instead they are switching lane because that tower is in the lethal range with poison and a zap once again. So double the golem, and bad news for Detonation Gaming. They just dropped the Prince and the golem to the right side.
Yeah, but this might give us that trade situation, and they do have that P.E.K.K.A. P.E.K.K.A is very, very good against the golem, but look how much is being put in behind that golem there. We see the Prince, we see the Dark Prince, we see the Mega Minion. Tombstone has to come in to try and distract everything there, and if this connects all onto the tower, that tower will go down. Golem is gone though. Dark Prince is still there. Takes down the tower. The Golemites standing in front. Dark Prince, Mega Minion, everything going all down that tower. OG and Entus have to pull the trigger, take out their security.
Detonation Gaming, they're going all in. OG and just spent so much with the spells. And look at that. All the damage connecting so heavily onto that tower. Inferno Dragon tried to do the... Look at that rage! Look at the amount of units!
Oh my goodness! Out of nowhere! All those units appeared under rage, taking down that tower from pretty much full HP to 0 quicker than you could say that tower was dying.
Who said the offense? Who said offense is the best defense? Not the case for OG and Entus. All they had to do is actually defend their tower. And they failed to do so by being a little bit greedy, thinking that they had this game, got it really close to their feet.
They should have played a bit more conservatively,
Yes.
I feel.
If they just had double golem to going towards the right lane, the same side they were pushing in, they could have delayed that push and even stopped the balloon right after. I mean, Rage, of course, was kind of a surprise. Not too much of a surprise, but the balloon did land the hit. And the moment that OG and Entus, they had to use an extra spell when they were in a desperate situation to bring that tower down. And Detonation Gaming, they thought, oh, let's spam everything. This is our chance.
Yeah, it looked very much like Detonation Gaming were putting everything into one last all-in push down that right-hand side. And OG and Entus thought, well, if you're going to go all-in down that side, we're going to go all-in down the other side. And it almost felt like they kind of forgot that P.E.K.K.A was there, because P.E.K.K.A is so good against the golems. It can defend so well.
I know, it's as if Detonation Gaming, all their attack onto the right side, they were saying, hello, like, I'm going in, you know, like, I will do damage to the tower, but notice me, please.
And instead, OG and Entus were just like, nah, it's fine. Take that tower, we'll take this one. And they never took the other tower.
Well, that's a trade. Still OG and Entus in match point, though. And with one more win, Ku and Lewis Detonation Gaming, they can tie it up with set number 2, going towards their way. Let's see if that happens in game 3.
Alright, Detonation Gaming, Ku and Lewis did lose game 1, but win game 2 in very much exciting trades there. And Q-Mills and Howl did lose that last game, but they seem to be sticking with a relatively similar deck, or maybe even going down back into game 1, I feel.
Yeah, same decks, I think. And OG and Entus this time has the balloon as well. So big pushes from both sides. No Inferno Dragon being locked on because they already have the P.E.K.K.A as a defensive tool. We'll actually do over 600 of damage.
A very good amount, but there's the balloon, there's the rage. The P.E.K.K.A is under there.
And also Tombstone.
Mega Minion.
Gets taken out by the P.E.K.K.A. So
One
balloon going straight. A freeze.
Frozen.
Just in time.
But still going to take a little bit of bomb damage there. Nothing too bad, but the Electro Wizard is the perfect counter to the Inferno Dragon. No problems there. Nice, easy cleanup. Losing one guard and a shield, and the other guard goes down. And the Electro Wizard is just going to get 1 or 2 hits off on this tower before it falls. 1 hit. Okay. Golem, let's reset this push. Let's play the Golem. Let's play the Prince. Probably going to see the second Prince, the Dark Prince. All that is going to start coming up. But both teams are setting up this Golem push.
But without the Prince pushing the Golem, it's actually very, very slow. And now they will with the double Princes, but look at the poison. Ooh, talk about value, landing on everything.
And the Rage too, but everything for OG and Entus has been kind of caught up on the bridge, didn't get through to the tower. The tower did take some damage, but this is a very strong push. 2 Princes, P.E.K.K.A., Dark Prince. Dark Prince did go down. But that Mega Minion from behind, if that gets the charge, perfect timed log.
Perfect timed log with the guard just to... Oh, that was close. That spear was about to hit the princess on that tower.
Yep. And Electro Wizard spawned at the back. Another Golem here. This is how you want to play it. Instead of committing everything to those 2 Golems, just start playing 1 Golem. Build the push behind that.
A little bit of an early push actually spawned the Golem right next to the tower, and they wanted to balloon. That's the case. But Inferno Dragon does lock onto the balloon, gets deleted.
But that's going to deal a lot of damage to any unit remaining underneath, which does bolster OG and Entus' push if they can clean up this Golem before it reaches their tower. 560 remain on that tower for Detonation Gaming.
Very similar situation from game 1. OG and Entus, they need a little bit more damage to come in. Can they do it this time?
Freezing that balloon in the right place, but do they have anything that can defend it now? The balloon will get 1 drop. No, just shy.
And in trade, OG and Entus will get a drop with the balloon and finish off. Will actually have this back to their side, and they will take the win.
Yeah, that wins set number 2, and that wins the match for OG and Entus. Detonation Gaming didn't quite hit their stride today, but fair play. They played some really good clash.
Yeah, the comeback in 2v2 game 2 was amazing, actually. Their decision to have maximum synergy, defending and attacking at the same time. That needs some teamwork, plus lots of experience as well. But that was the only game they pulled off of OG and Entus. It's having a strong one, 4-2-1 in game score. Quick match 2 happening once again. And that does put Korea back in lead against Japan. I believe 3-1, 1+1, 3-2, yes.
It's okay, G.
Just to make sure, okay?
I know math is
adding
hard
1 to another number is very hard. And you have to do that at the same time with 2 numbers.
Yeah, we can see here that it's just all these pushes just manage to just work here. And look at how much damage those skeletons are doing at the top. They had to be zapped. If they weren't zapped, that tower was gone.
Yeah, close to being gone.
And if that didn't finish right there and that Golem got to the tower, that would have been game
this
over.
game too. I want to watch the entire replay, but we're going to skip through. The double Golem onto the left side, which failed, but instead, Detonation Gaming. Look at that, Dark Prince and the Mega Minion doing tons more.
It didn't really fail. They still got it to 762.
Look at how many units
are
are going towards that tower. That's insane.
What was there? P.E.K.K.A., double Mega Minion.
Like one of the princes as well.
Yeah, everything was there.
Some brownies and all that good stuff.
Sugar, spice, and all things nice was there. But this balloon just about connected. It was about to go down. One more sneeze from the Electro Wizard.
If it had spawned 0.1 second quicker, maybe it could have been stopped, but it's going to be a win for OG and Entus. And let's move on to the interview. I believe we do have Astro out here.
오늘의 두 번째 매치 공동 9위에 랭크됐던 두 팀이죠. 데토네이션 게이밍과 오지앤 엔투스의 대결 함께 하셨습니다. 그 결과 오지앤 엔투스가 승리를 거두며 어제에 이어 일본을 상대로 연승을 거두는데 성공했습니다. 멋진 경기를 보여주신 아스트로 선수와 함께 이야기 나눠볼게요. 안녕하세요.
Astro. the winner for 1v1 today.
일본 팀과의 경기에서 2연승에 성공한 소감 한 말씀
How does
부탁드릴게요.
it feel to have 2 wins in a row against the Japanese team?
따라줘서 정말 기뻐요.
지난
Really happy to have
한일전에서는
the wins,
전패를
and also
했지만
the
이번
teammates
한국에서
very
한
thankful for them.
한일전에서는 전승을 하셨어요. 기분이 굉장히 좋으실 것 같은데
네, 돌아오면서 굉장히 그 후회도 많이 되고 반성도
And after
많이
losing all
했는데
the games in
이번에
Japan,
복수를 할 수 있게 되어서 너무 좋아요.
and it feels really great to
첫
actually
한일전
come back.
이후 어떤 점이 바뀌어서
and have a
이런
revenge
결과를
against
이어진
teams.
걸까요?
한일전에서 그때 2연패하고
After losing twice in
전체적으로
Japan,
훈련 방식이나 다 조금씩 수정해서
I think we made
많이
lots of
바꾸고
changes
네, 그
that were
바뀐
needed
결과가 이제 나타나는 것 같아요.
in the practice and
1대1에서 프린스가 로얄
all the changes
고스트가
within
아닌
the team as well.
호그라이더를
I think
찌르면서
that helped
그게
a lot.
아주 신의 한 수였던 것 같은데 철저히 계산된 플레이였던 건가요?
네.
As the first set
정말
with the prince
대단하신
just
선수
diving, was that all
같습니다.
calculated?
2대2 한
Yes,
번을
of
제외하고
course.
모두 토네이도를 배나셨어요. 토네이도가 굉장히 싫으신가요?
저희가 보통 2대2
You guys ban
연습할 때
tornado.
토네이도를 배제하고 연습하는 경우가 많은데
And
어제
of course,
같은 경우는 저희가 독을 배냈거든요. 그거는
oftentimes we
상대가
actually
손을
just
배날 걸
practice without the
예상하고,
tornado,
네,
having scrims and
철저히
all
저희가
that.
독
Yesterday we
토네이도만 연습해서
we banned
했는데
poison
그가 조금
instead.
아쉬웠지만
and
그래도
we even
저희가
had practice
연습한 대로
with those
계속
two
나오는
cards
것
being
같아서
banned
너무
for
좋아요.
2v2.
네, 아주
And I
멋진
think the
플레이를
practice has
보여주신
really helped a lot
선수답게
for us
멋있었습니다.
to be
현장
prepared.
분위기를 보니 유독 팬이 많은 것 같아요. 가장 팬이 많은 선수는 어떤
Seems like you have a
선수인가요?
lot of fans as well.
큐밀스 형이
Who's the most
가장 팬이
popular
많은 것
player? And Q Mills is the one.
생각하시기에
one
어떤
turn-
점에서 인기가 제일 많으신 것 같은지.
외모 때문이지 않을까 싶은데요.
What do you think though? I think it's
네.
about his looks.
컨퍼런스 디비전이 얼마 남지 않았습니다. 앞으로의 목표 얘기 한마디
Only a
해주세요.
few weeks left.
꼭 열심히 해서
Let's
플레이오프
get to hear what you have to say going on to
노력하겠습니다.
next matches. We'll do our best to go into that playoff, the postseason matches.
동남아에서도 전승하겠습니다.
네, 인터뷰 해주신
We will
아스트로 선수
continue our
정말
streak even in
감사합니다.
Southeast Asia.
감사합니다.
이렇게
was an
해서
interview
홈그라운드 이점을
with
살려
Astro
연승에
for OGN
성공한
Entus.
OGN 엔투스 진심으로 축하드리고요. 앞으로도 꽃길만 걷길 기대해 보도록
And let's see if
하겠습니다.
they can
그럼
continue
잠시
their
후
streak. They are
게임이와
on the winning
OPGG의
streak.
대결로 다시 돌아올게요.
Yeah.
Quite-
That was really sorry. I was in my own little world listening to your sweet,
Yeah,
sweet
that was
voice,
a-
G-Clef.
I know that was a quick match number 2, but we have one more match number 3 between Gamewit and OPGG Skeleton, coming right up after the commercial break. Welcome back to Clash Royale League Asia. Match number 3 on their way. Will be Game With versus OPGG Skeleton.
Yeah.
Still on the first place. Game With looking for another win after they dropped their match against Sandbox yesterday.
Yeah, a lot of teams have been underrating Sandbox, and I feel like this is what happened with Game With. But I don't think they're going to underrate OPGG Skeleton. After losing yesterday, I think that's going to set the fire for them to have realized that maybe it's not going to be so easy here in Korea.
Yeah, and this matchup, the losers from last night. Game Weight losing to Sandbox and OPGG losing to Detonation, who just played right before.
See, Game With their kind of half smiles, half like super serious faces. And we have on the team Amaterasu, Yuhiro, KK, and Shun. 6 wins, 2 losses, sitting top of the table. And that's not going to change today.
And they're tied up with the second place team. Well, now the first place team, of course, with Pono Sports. They need to. If they lose this, they will be dropping down because they will be recording another loss. They played one more game compared to Pono Sports, so if they lose this, they will be dropping down. So it's important for them to keep their first seed of the region to go directly into the playoff.
And here we have OPGG Skeleton. They need somewhat of a revival here because they haven't been performing particularly great lately.
Their 2v2 yesterday. In terms of teamwork, they were using 2 spells at the same time. They were late to respond, not really powering up your push, just throwing. It seemed like just throwing a few units at a time, see what happens. But maybe it worked in practice. I'm not even sure on that part. But they're really lacking that synergy between the members for the 2v2 yesterday. They even lost the 1v1 right before. Maybe that hurt their mentality or something, but it's got to be different tonight.
It needs to be different for them. They have to be able to at least win this to keep their chances of progressing alive, I feel. They need to win this to keep their team mentality up, to be able to continue the push over the last week, that they're going to play one more set of games. So they have to win here. No doubt about it.
We have the 1v1 members. Up and ready, KK. We playing who else? Actually, compared to all the other, except for Yuhiro, compared to Shun and Amaterasu, it's actually kind of rare to have KK for the 1v1 for Game With here. Only played in 2 games, lost both times against Pirmeki from Detonation Gaming and once against Expo Master from Kingzone. So pretty strong opponents, but still having 2 losses only.
Yep, but he's only played 2 games, so losing 2 games, you know, even if they're strong opponents.
I can do math on that, 0%. Yes.
0%, yeah, but here we have Jin TV, 9 wins, 1 tie, and 8 game losses. How many games has he won overall with those numbers?
But he's basically the 1v1 specialist for the team. Uichan played 2, Chashu did 1, Dabong 1, but everything else was Jin TV. He's playing a lot more. 6 sets of 1v1. Only playing 1 2v2, so he's basically a dedicated player for the 1v1 matchup.
We're going to see the ban cards coming up on the screen shortly. 3 Musketeers and the Goblin Hut.
3 Musketeers from KK.
Ooh, put that in on the wrong line there. So Goblin Hut and 3 Musketeers. We haven't seen that many Goblin Huts today, I feel. I think we've seen 2? That's not
certainly 1 to begin us with. I think the very first game at Expo Master had the Goblin Hut against Fuchi. After that, not really too many.
Interesting ban here then. We see the 3 Musketeers. it's a very good ban, I feel. Three Musketeers is one of those bans where if you just do not want to deal with fireballing them and committing a lot of resources to finishing them off, then banning them is the easiest answer here.
I'll take a look at the sheet here and see if GTV played that many Three Musketeers, which I don't think so.
It could just be that Three Musketeers are the perfect counter to whatever decks he has prepared today, which is very possible.
Reading off the chart now. Unless for some reason I can't read Korean, but I don't see Three Musketeer on the list. He has never played it.
So it's very much a banning the counter to my decks kind of ban then. So what do you think he's going to be playing? Balloons? Lava Hound Balloon maybe? Could be a very good shout if you want to ban the Three Musketeers. There's so many good... Like, Three Musketeers counters a lot of decks.
Like, GTV even played Arrows, but no Three Musketeers. It must be one that maybe KK is having personal issues with, dealing with when he's having 1v1. Maybe he's looking to have his own, something like the Elixir Collector, making sure your push lands on. And Three Musketeer can be a hard counter, even against the heaviest health units. Because those three ladies will do lock in the bullets and straight shoot through a lot. Of course, it doesn't shoot through, but do a lot of damage.
They're also deadly when they split 2 and 1, and if you leave that one alone, suddenly your tower is at half health, and you're like, how did she do that? What is going on with the world? But Jin TV here, very mixed bag of cards here, but pretty much Logbait is his most used deck here. With the Princess, the Barrel, and the Goblin Gang. Very kind of quick, low cycle decks that he likes.
Also had the Tornado, and all the spells are available. So Hog Rider, Miner, even the Barrel should be a little bit careful. Tornado is available to activate the King Tower. Usually what happens, a lot less because of the log use, and keep on saying, we don't really see the most played Rascal from either player, I would say.
But
that was only weeks before.
Yeah, it hasn't been around that long, so we're not going to see Rascals appear in most played decks so far. But we might see it towards the end of this competition.
Yep, we'll be having a different patch next weekend, certainly, as the live patch will be hitting, I believe, in 2 days, June 4th.
Probably more like 3 days, I guess, depending on what time zone.
Depending on where you're. But we are ready to jump in the game. KK for game win, TV for OPGG Skeleton. It's going to be their first game. Let's get into the arena.
So here we go. Game with KK in blue at the bottom of the screen. OPGG Skeleton in red at the top. And we see the archers come down for KK. Could be Golem deck. I've seen...
Expo.
No, it's Expo. Yeah, it's Expo. At this point, that's kind of the biggest giveaway.
Yes.
Everything here is a perfect giveaway. The Lumberjack does go down without touching the tower. There's
Expo, yes.
Yeah, 100%. We're going to see a Tesla in a second.
So first it was 90%, like 70%. The next one it was 92%, and the next one made it 98%.
We could be surprised. It could be a mortar deck. You never know.
Yes,
Stranger
never
things
know.
have happened. We're still waiting to see. There's
Good
the Golem.
right on top.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that because the Night Witch was coming.
It's kind of the perfect timing. Play the Night Witch at the back, allowing yourself to cycle for that Golem if it's next. And the Tesla Tower does at least break apart the Golem. And they do get quite a few hits, and that Bat is going to go to town on that tower.
Yeah,
Bats
Bat
do
does
so
a
much
lot
damage.
of damage.
1850 left on that tower for KK.
He needs to wait. And everyone in the world... Oh, it looks like Collector being dropped.
Elixir Collector. I was just sitting. As soon as it dropped, I was like, wait, isn't that card banned? But no, it was the Three Musketeers instead that got banned. So we're going to see another Golem come down soon, I would assume. He's definitely reaching that level of Elixir. There we go. So he's going to lead with the Mega Minion this time. I think the Mega Minion will just about overtake the Golem here. There's the Night Witch. Night Witch's bats will start summoning up. Fireball.
Fireball.
Doesn't kill the Night Witch though. It does take her down very, very low, but doesn't finish her off. But that freeze Nova will do the job. Dart Goblin from the back trades with the archers.
Trades a lot better, and time for the Expo. Yes, and exactly timed with the Elixir Collector. Great reflexes for KK.
Yeah, but Lumberjack here is if it gets to the tower, it is going to deal a lot of damage, but the Rage comes down. That Expo is gone. Didn't connect to the tower. That's not what you want to see.
And in the meantime, Elixir Collector, which you can kind of miss, but it's there on the right top corner.
Right underneath the timer. Does make it difficult to see. Lumberjack again being used to try and counter out that Expo, but unfortunately it's not going to connect, and now the Expo connects.
That's locking the tower, but the Mega Minion, and the real problem is the Golem. Now pushing in already. This time with the poison, so getting a lot more elixirs from the Collector now.
Yeah, that Tesla Tower is going to go down.
And Log only hitting the Dark Goblin.
Yeah, but the Night Witch was pulled across there. She's in no man's land. And now, the Rage goes...
The Mega Minion, does connect to the Ice Golem instead, so we'll be regarding some damage. But now onto the tower, direct damage, 410.
But the Night Witch is still hanging around, and her bats are going to
Bats
town.
doing some damage, down 200, and with the poison. That's going to be a game for Jin TV.
Yes! Jin TV takes the game just about with those bats. It was very close, very towards the end, but I would say that KK's Expo never really did what it needed to do.
Well, that's very tough. The moment you see something like the Lumberjack or even the Barbarians, something heavy and quick enough that will go straight to the Expo, which has to be placed near the bridge or right next to the river in the middle, if you want to do direct damage to the towers. And because of that placement, if the Lumberjack just comes straight at the Expo, you will just leave that Expo in the wide open. That's why you drop to spam everything like the Skeletons, Ice Spirit, anything small, just quick and light just to buy that time. Not even close to be defending that Expo.
It's very hard to buy enough time as well because the Lumberjack is quite tanky. And even when you're summoning things like Skeletons, Archers, Ice Spirit, they all go down very, very quickly, which makes it very hard for that Lumberjack to go down and out.
Yeah, sometimes just the Mega Minion is easy counter against the Expo. And the deck that KK actually brought is kind of weak against the air, but you do have the Tesla. That's why you place a Tesla and the Expo right next to each other. And with that, I think it was possible, but there was always the Golem pushing. That was a real problem. So you couldn't really place a Tesla right next to the Expo either. So he had lots of questions, but only one solution.
Yeah, KK did play his Expos with perfect timing, making sure that the Golem was never there when he dropped that Expo. Because if the Expo connects to the Golem, there is so much time needed to take it down that it's very hard to ever hit the tower. So he always made sure that the Golem was out of cycle before dropping his Expo. But unfortunately, there was the Lumberjack. There was the Mega Minion just taking it out almost instantly.
Tough matchup for KK. Do understand that structures can counter the Golem as well. In terms of the damage, the long range, and also the poison has been affecting the tower ever since the beginning for Jin TV, and that's how he brought the first game.
What are we going to see in game number 2? Do you think we're going to see Jin TV take the second game?
More Rascals.
More Rascals? I really don't think so. Or will KK bring the Rascals and take game number 2?
He needs to come back. That's what the timeout was about. Game 2 is ready. to get in.
All right, KK in blue for game with Jin TV. OPGG Skeleton in red at the top. Jin took game number 1, quite convincing fashion. I really think KK is going to bring it back in this game here. Royal Ghost, considered one of the better legendary cards right now due to his ability to just kind of like invisibility walk all the way up to the tower. He does a lot of work.
No, he's spooky. That's why he's one of the best.
It's too spooky for me. Yeah, a bit too spooky. Looks like we're going to have a bit of a battering ram maybe from Jin TV coming out soon.
Yeah, that's another possibility. Does have the log as well. So heavy spent onto all the spells. Let's see how he wants to push this one in with the Electro Wizard.
Poison there. I think the Electro Wizard is just inside that poison radius when it starts to attack. That was very close actually. Dark Prince there, just taking out the Miner, but the Miner did a decent amount of damage, I would say.
Oh, the Graveyard comes from KK. That's the real push. Bandit actually charges into the Skeleton instead.
Did connect onto that tower. 1700, 1600. The tower is going down here. 1566. Was that worth it for KK?
Also used the poison as well. So that's a good pull with the Ice Golem. And the Mega Minion will just finish the rest of the... Well, not quite, as we get one more slash onto the Archer.
Yeah, but unfortunately all that indecision by that Mega Minion did mean that the Electro Wizard could take it down.
Ooh, dashes through the log. Goes straight into the dart. Get one hit straight up to the tower.
1,630 on that bottom right tower. 1,566 on the top right tower. So it seems like both players are just going to start piling the resources into this lane, trying to take down the tower, trying to chip away. This time, Jin TV doesn't connect, but there is a P.E.K.K.A. What does he have to kind of pull this P.E.K.K.A. away? There's the Tesla Tower. Is it going to be enough? Miner in the back as well. With everything attacking the P.E.K.K.A. goes to work. 1,300. 1,310 is the final number there.
The real problem is the air units. Mega Minion not really being dealt with too well, I would say. Only the Electro Wizard doing some damage, slowing it down. It's the reason why Jin TV couldn't push in too much. Mega Minion, double the Mega Minion, because nothing else was attacking it.
So we are about to get into this overtime period. So next tower will take the game. Who is going to take it? That is quite a hefty push. And the Graveyard in the back for KK. This is probably going to be his last push, because if he fails this, there is a very good chance that Jin TV can overrun.
Skeleton only catching about 200. Poison a very good counter, of course, but dash.
And it's going to
Dark
connect.
Prince does survive.
One hit. Oh, almost got 2 hits there.
The Archers will actually take him down with the poison damage. KK coming back in. 1-1 tied up.
It was really unsure as to whether that was going to drop there, but just enough time for those Archers to get those extra arrows just to help the cause along. Finishes the game. KK played that one a little bit better, but still had to claw his way from behind.
Sometimes you are so rushed, if you drop the log at the place, it will actually draw the unit closer to the tower instead of pulling it backwards. If you, I think if Jin TV was collected enough, maybe have the log coming from maybe a little bit quicker in a way. If the Dark Prince did not get a hit, I think it was possible for him to actually stop the Dark Prince without a hit onto the tower if he pulled back.
If he pushed back, I still think there would have been one hit, but it would have been very close. Maybe he would have started the attack animation and not finished it, but it was very, very close either way. And unfortunately, yeah, the log did push it into the tower because it clips the back of the unit, which causes him to move forward instead of backwards. So what are we going to see here? We don't see a timeout from OPGG after that loss, so I guess they're going to be saving that one for later. So what are we going to see in game number 3. Are we going to see a repeat, do you think?
Maybe switching back into game 1. But still, I think JinTB had a pretty good deck. And the main problem was the anti-air. Only having Electro Wizard really didn't help too much. Just gave free time for that Mega Minion to just roam around and do all the chunk damage to the units. Bringing down the Miner, the P.E.K.K.A, and everything else. Slowly pushing in.
See that game with there, kind of deep in thought, deep in conversation, but we are about to get into game number 3, the deciding game here between OPGG Skeleton and Game With. Let's get into this one.
Welcome to the legendary arena. Arena 12. Before becoming a challenger. At 4,000.
So KK in the blue, drops the zap, starts his cycle. He's looking for the perfect cards. JinTV seems to have his perfect cards, and now both players are just waiting for the other to make the first move.
See what JinTV switched off to. Maybe another heavy push with the golem, just like in game 1.
Yeah, this time waiting it out. So it also means that KK is going to have one of these explosive decks. Maybe with the P.E.K.K.A. You have seen a bit of P.E.K.K.A. today from him, so maybe we'll see it here.
I don't think Expo was the answer. I don't think it's going to be the answer for this matchup. JinTV bringing lots of dashing units, like even the Bandit, which is not too common, I would say, in competitive.
Do you think deploying your card first gives you a big disadvantage?
Oftentimes, yes. Unless you have a gigantic push. Like dropping down a Bandit, or just the Prince or the Dark Prince, you're not likely going to land anything onto that tower unless your opponent disconnects or gets a text message or a phone call.
Yeah, that's how I beat you last week, by giving you a bit of the old phone call business.
You cheat.
Yes, but we are getting down to this 1 minute mark, which is usually the trigger time for when players will play cards. And it means that the victor will be decided.
Now. Yes.
Nope, just the log for cycle.
Just the Miner, though.
Interesting. Waiting all this time just to throw out that Miner.
Does seem like the golem for JinTV, the game 1. A similar deck we're seeing here.
Yeah, P.E.K.K.A. there for the defense is poisoned. So that means the bats are going to finish him off, and the Dark Goblin, but it does take a long time to build anything up here. They go down.
JinTV does has his own Mega Minion in this case.
Yep. Oh, and the balloon. Miner go down the other side. There was nothing there for the defense. It's very hard to win.
Only
for
the
this
batch.
point. And they're zapped. 1 hit. It's going to get 2 hits, at least. Maybe even a third to finish off this game right now. That tower is gone. JinTV now needs to put everything forward. He has no chance.
Already being dropped, hitting the golems, and the log takes care of the Dark Goblin as well. And it seems like JinTV cannot come back here, as TK will just take the game. So 2,000 away, it's impossible at the moment.
Yeah, perfect balloon play. He just waited for anti-air to be spent by JinTV, puts it down, and there was no answer. The zap on the bats taking them out. Suddenly there is nothing to defend.
Look
KK
how
played
happy they are.
Perfectly. First game, he didn't look that good. Second game, he had to claw his way back from a disadvantage. That third game, controlled.
Yeah, we were seeing anti-air being lacked for JinTV. Once again, the same problem for game 3. Because Dark Goblin was used right before. That was the main source of the problem. Bats can do some damage, but cannot really catch the balloon by themselves too heavily.
Yeah, we saw here this golem play just flawless pretty much from JinTV. Could have been slightly better, but it just did what it needed to do. That tower just kept chipping away, chipping down. And then it gets down to about 200, I think, from this bat. Yeah. So the bats here do take it down into poison range, and the poison completes it. Done. Jin TV wins that game. And here we can see KK kind of on the back, pushing forward here.
Let's take a look at the log. Oh yes, maybe if it pulled back, I think Princess Tower would have got, but he had the poison and rest of the damage anyhow, so it was going to be a lot more closer.
Yeah, this is a story about how KK kind of improved over time in this game. And here, this balloon just goes to town. Nothing to stop it, nothing slowing it down. And it just destroys that tower in the quickest way possible.
Yeah, with the Lumberjack. And also the Night Witch has a lot of elixirs already being dropped, but Anti-Air, maybe he had it in his hand, but was lacking elixir at the moment. So we'll be jumping into 2v2 now.
Yeah, we can see Amaterasu and Yuhiro on the game with, and Oichan and Chasu for OPGG Skeleton. Yuhiro and Amaterasu, 6 wins, 4 losses. Very, very good play from these guys. They have shown time and time again that they're very strong pairing in 2v2.
Yeah, sure. 6-4 as they preventing lots of spells instead.
They have also beaten Mikamboya in 2v2. Admittedly, it was 10 God and Mikamboya, but they still beat Ponos Sports in a 2v2, which is something that almost seems impossible.
They're also using the double goblins yesterday for 2v2, which they won the game with. And they brought it back all the way to the ace match because of the lots of Japanese teams using that double goblin. We see the adaptation even in Korean teams tonight. Let's see if that continues at all. We have 2 members from OPGG Skeleton as well. Uichan and Charshu, the usual pairing. The one yesterday was a different pair. Can't remember exactly.
I watched it, but I really cannot bring back who it is. But we are going to see the ban cards from these 2 teams. What are we going to see here? Poison, Tornado, and a
Golem ban! Oh.
What? That's 100% that's the first time we've seen Golem banned in 2v2, right? I don't think it's been banned anywhere else.
In
This is where you
1v1, I'm
school me.
pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it's been banned in 1v1, but in 2v2, I'm pretty sure it's usually let through because there are so many more targets for your ban. We see a lot of Tornado, a lot of Poison bans. Today we saw Lava Hound ban, but I'm really struggling to think of if we've seen a Golem ban. Maybe in week 2 as a possibility?
Give me some time.
Yeah.
I will find it. If I can't find it, has been banned, yes. From Detonation Gaming. Golem for 2v2 when Matsumoto and Pyrameki played.
Really?
It is not the first time, certainly, but
it's a very rare card to
yes,
ban, I would say.
very rare. And which leads us to believe that we're going to see a lot more Lava Hound instead. Maybe just lots of giant skeletons. And this could just lead us to the barrel ones once again.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, you either go very heavy with the Lava Hound, you just replace Golem for Lava Hound, very simple trade, or you just play completely differently and you start throwing out barrels, you throw out Goblin Gangs, Spear Goblins, just throw any kind of small unit out there and try to take the victory that way. I'm not sure we're going to see that.
We will see. As the usual, of course, Tornado is banned also. Chip damage seems a lot more likely. Golem is not out there for this 2v2. How can they actually push this one? I believe when Golem was banned, we saw a lot of those charging units, the Battle Ram, Dark Prince with the Bandit.
Yeah, it is a very good possibility to see something like a bridge spam deck where they just throw it out over and over and over again and take down the tower. Maybe we'll see Double Prince, Definitely, I think we're going to see a princess. Hog Rider?
Yes, we always see 4 princesses on top of the tower.
Oh, ho, ho.
And 4 kings also.
I am so 2 kings. I am so
2v2, 4.
Oh yeah, it's 2v2, it's 4. Man, I'm so disappointed. It took me so long to get that joke. Oh, what is wrong?
The best
with me?
joke from G Clef.
I was like,
please. I wish I can go back in time and did not say that on cast.
That is the best joke G Clef has ever said.
Yes.
At least on air. Probably in your lifetime, but that's just a guess. Yeah.
The worst. I've had better moments. Totally, yes.
But game with brimming with confidence at this point. Will they be able to take this 2v2? 6 and 4 for these 2 guys, so I think they're in a good position.
Certainly trying to stand up a little bit higher as GTV's caught on screen, not trying to act like he's acting all normal, but it's never the same when you're on camera when you realize it.
His boss just walked into the room and everyone in the office pretends they start working. But we are preparing to get into this 2v2 between Game With and OPGG.
Here we go. Already cards being used. And Expo! Double the Expo! Is this the dream? The dream failed. Dream failed miserably yesterday with the double the Expo Tesla. Big drop. Inferno Dragon locks onto the Tesla.
Yeah, it does zap so that Tesla does take out the Inferno Dragon.
Everything. Double that Tesla defense.
Where's the double Expo? Where's this next Expo going to be? Oh, and it does connect. The Expo is connecting down to 2,000.
They spent everything, but they actually took more damage from the miners. That's the thing. That is the thing. They spam everything and put everything down right next to it. They have the mirror. That's why they're able to produce so many Teslas as well.
Dark Goblin is going to go down to that poison. The Expo does
connect. Oh, this one does connect a lot more damage. Even the Ice Spirit freezing it for some time.
Down to 1,000.
Is this really going to work? We're seeing it coming true with the mirror. Another Expo, Tesla, and one after the other. Finally, the miner.
This is such a wall being played, and that Expo does so much more damage. Down to 773.
Oh, man.
And they cleaned up the offense again.
And
so
this is actually a brilliant strategy. Banning the Golem, thinking that there's going to be a lot of air units, including the Lava Hound. And when you have the Expo, if there's nothing on the ground, it will do straight damage. Great strategy of what they have prepared for Game 1 here.
The miner comes in. Expo again. Ice Golem in front is going to make sure that that Expo doesn't get damaged. Locks onto the tombstone, though.
Connect once again.
Prince. Again, throwing down that Ice Golem, making sure that that Expo has as much time as physically possible to be able to hit anything.
Oh, look at that poison, though.
But look how much damage, like, OPGG is taking.
Expo. The Tesla is already there as a defensive tool, even though Ice Golem, the miner, continuing to do the damage. Fireballs comes in from both sides, very close. Down to 244 for OPGG, but about the same, 281.
This is back and forth. How is Double Expo managing to do this?
Both sides, they have poison and fire, so left side is basically gone. Both teams thinking the same thing.
Yeah, they've both gone down the right-hand side. They know they can finish the left-hand side with spells, so they're just going to try and push down and chip away at that right-hand side. That poison doesn't hit the tower. Game With poison actually missed the tower. They would have taken it down. Big mistake there with that first poison not hitting the tower. Will this be able to finish it? 28, they have to zap it. Without that mistake of that poison, they wouldn't have had to use that 2 elixir there for that zap.
And also poison wasted, basically. That's another 4. But still, Expo, in this case, Let's see how effective it is. Of course, it can be just the mirror onto the other side. A lot less effective once you lose the tower.
Yeah, that time the poison connects with absolutely everything from OPGG. Will they be able to connect that Expo to the tower? It does connect. How much is it going to do? Just a few hits.
A lot less than the miner and the poison is doing from GameWit.
Minor poison apparently does.
Even the Inferno Dragon locks onto the Expo, so had to zap it.
Yeah, Fireball comes in, down to 1,050, 1,005. The miner comes in as well. Gonna deal a few more. The Dark Goblin is there to clean that up though.
Difference is coming from those spells when the Fireball hits the Expo and the tower together, as well as the miners always. But Expo, they need time. They need to put in everything for it to connect to the tower.
Yeah, and it's gonna go for the Tombstone. They do log it. Does connect to the tower, and it's still relatively healthy. The miner finishes it off though, and that tower is down to 400.
They do have the Fireball. And one more is needed for GameWit to finish this one off.
Yeah, but GameWit cannot get cocky here. They have to make sure that Expo doesn't connect to the tower with a lot of time. Otherwise, it will be over.
They do have the miner. Next one damage, Fireball, or even the double zap, or even the poison. Anything will finish the game. They already know they got this in their hands. A few more seconds, and that's going to be game.
Interesting that we saw double Expo mirror decks. What universe did I wake up in this morning? Because that was the last deck I would have expected to see here.
It was actually creativity, a very well thought out ban connecting with the deck choice. Golem making the opponent use a lot of the air units, expecting a Lava Hound, as that was the first card we were also saying right after the bans. Without the Golems, of course a Lava Hound, and then maybe let's think of something else.
But did we even consider the possibility of an Expo? No.
No, after it failed yesterday, certainly no. Like, you're happy for, you know those things? Those cards, you're happy for 0.2 seconds just because they're being played like a Sparky. But if you think 0.2 seconds after, wait, there are so many counters right now.
Yeah, but Sparky is a good card. Expo is very, very bad in 2v2, I would say. I don't think it's the greatest card to use in 2v2. It's a bit too risky with so many units being able to put down in front of it.
Yes.
I think there would be better choices, but still interesting to see that it worked so well. They got one tower down. They got the second tower halfway down. GameWith just managed to turn it around with their minor play. Their minor poison was always a lot more effective than the Expo.
Yeah, this was the risk that they were willing to take by having this strategy with the ban and the first game. By having the Expo. And it was a big risk with less of a return. Maybe you can catch the opponent off guard, but Amaterasu and Yuhiro, they were on top of this 2v2. And certainly you cannot try that once again. Do they have anything else planned? Because they need it right now. If they lose this, it's match point for GameWit.
Yeah, but we are about to jump into the game. Will GameWith close this match off, or will OPGG be able to extend their life in this game by just one more? Let's get into it. GameWith blue at the bottom, OPGG Skeleton in red at the top.
Flying Machines. And Lava Hounds this time, of course.
Much more traditional deck, I would say, at this point.
Is this a clone from GameWit? Let's wait a little bit more. We have a lot of spells, including the Poison, and we'll get Lava Hound now.
Yeah, they have double Lava Hound, so both teams playing relatively similar decks here. Skeleton Barrel comes down. Look at the Minor Poison. It does 300 damage, really casually, 500 damage.
But, oh, the clone, of course, from GameWit. They do have it, but, ooh, Baby Dragon from OPGG Skeleton. They are ready for the Lava Hound. They were expecting some of those small units to be placed.
Yeah, I feel like Executioner would be a very good answer for OPGG, and we haven't seen it yet.
As well, yes.
So Baby Dragon is going to be their answer to it. Let's see if Baby Dragon can clean up that clone let's say shenanigans, because it is kind of shenanigans, right?
Have you ever wondered or thought the wings are kind of small?
Yeah.
Smaller to how heavy they would be. But here comes.
But they're full of hot air. The balloon does come in, though. It is uncontested. The Mega Minion connects with it. The pups are scattered absolutely everywhere.
And the baby dragon does come to clean everything up.
OPGG taking the lion's share of that trade there. Still, that Inferno Dragon is unaffected by the tower. It will get a little bit of a tickle. No, the zap comes in.
Still no clone being used by GameWin. I think they're waiting for a better push and use it at a better opportunity.
Yeah, I think they're going to wait until they have Lava Hound Skeleton Barrel right up there near the tower, clone it, and then make sure that everything is cloned. There'll be so many units there. That's generally the strategy with this kind of deck. But OPGG are doing a very good job of shutting that down before it even becomes a possibility.
Poison used right before. Let's see if that becomes a problem.
Doesn't look like it will. 1,173. Flying Machine there, just cleaning things up a little bit. Will connect to the tower.
Will do a lot of damage.
About 700. A lot more damage has been done to that left-hand side, but now...
Double the Lava Hound with the balloon. I believe this may be the opportunity for the clone spell with the poison. Maybe not this time.
Yeah, Game With have the perfect time to use it there, but couldn't because of that poison. So many poisons being used, and now that was their kind of all-in push. They somehow have to squeeze this out, and it's going to be very difficult for Game With here.
OPGG Skeleton defending it so well, and out to 800. Let's see if there are any mistakes. One single mistake of spell or the placement will actually determine this one. Inferno Dragon just locks onto the Lava Hound now.
2 miners down the back end. It looked like there was only one miner.
Double the miner doing so much damage with the poison. I believe this will just finish the tower.
It's going to be very close. There it goes. Those miners were played at exactly the same time. It looked like there was only one miner.
I thought it was one for a second because Inferno Dragon was also on top of it. But I was saying, numbers are going down pretty quickly for some reason.
Yeah, it looked as though like both miners take exactly the same route. So it looks as though there's only one miner coming through. Game With go, oh, there's one. Let's throw down our Inferno Dragon. And then they're like, oh, wait, there's a second one here. They have to throw out the Mega Minion, and it just wasn't quick enough. If that Mega Minion, if they knew there were 2 coming, that Mega Minion would have been down quicker. It would have done a little bit more damage to the miner before that tower.
Well, the moment you have a tower around 500, I would say less than 700. It's very likely with the spam of spells in the next minute, your tower will be going down. And the difference in the health point, I would say, was about 1,000.
So it would have had to have been a very, very special push from Game With to take it. They never used the clone spell, but they never had the chance. Those poisons were just on point.
Even if you use the clone, if the poison just takes everything out right after, and when you want to wait for the poison, but if the poison does all the damage, all the units are gone. So what do? Just hold on to that clone forever.
That's usually why we see a poison ban when we see someone attempting those clone decks. And without the poison ban here, that deck just isn't going to work. I'm going to say that maybe Game With prepared a little bit without the poison being used, or with the poison being used, but maybe they thought it was a risk they were willing to take. And it just didn't work out in that game.
What you can try to do on this type of 2v2 situation is maybe have one Lava Hound going to the left and then another one to the right. Make sure you at least can use the clone, but it was also a tough thing because they had to defend at the same time. So tough choices to make. It didn't really quite come through. And OPGG Skeleton will have one more life. Still Game With on the match point if they finish this one. They will be winning out as they won already with the 1v1 for KK against Jin TV.
So this is OPGG Skeleton's final chance to stay in this game. Game 3. It's going to be exciting. I personally think that Game With will take it, but OPGG Skeleton have shown that they are no pushover.
Oh, look at this good manners. Sportsmanship. Thumbs up from both sides. No emotes, but real thumbs up because they are live together playing at OGN Stadium instead of online.
Bit of mind games between the two teams as we get into this game between Game With and OPGG
Get
Skeleton.
hyped!
Hype!
So those fine sweaty hand moment from Uchan. I got this. I can do this. This can be the final game of tonight, guys.
So the Lava Hand comes down from OPGG Skeleton. The Inferno Dragon obviously is the answer to that. But the Inferno Dragon behind the Lava Hound will clear that up unless they play something like Bats.
And they knew that coming. Baby Dragon right on top. Great fireball, basically hitting everything there.
Dealing that little bit of damage to everything, even if it doesn't kill them, does make your defense a little bit easier.
The poison, the miner will start digging holes. Trying to bring the tower down as well.
The positioning on that Dark Knight, the Dark Prince, was perfect as well, making sure that it didn't get touched by the poison. Great play there by OPGG Skeleton, but this is scary coming in. The Dark Prince will eventually reach that tombstone. There we go. Does get one hit. I thought he might have been able to take it down.
Close. Not enough, of course. The guards surrounding the miners. There's no way you're getting a hand onto our tower. And they actually missed the poison onto that tower also. So no damage still being done to Game With at all.
Yeah, we've seen a couple times now in this this set where poisons have just kind of missed the mark. And look how much damage those bats were doing. 1,401 remaining on that tower. Bats are so strong.
Quicker of a push. Lava Hound diving in. Because Inferno Dragons, both of them just went down. They knew the time. They're reading the good cards. And even the Lava Hound doing some damage now.
But that Dark Prince does connect 2 hits onto that tower. That's not what OPGG want at this point in the game. Poison.
They need to come back in this game, can they? With the Mega Nina, but the poison is already there, chipping down the damage and still have 47 seconds. And even the Electro Wizard connecting shots.
Yeah, and he's going to get another one.
Oh, that's going to go down. That's a tower down, 40 seconds. Can they do it? They do have some time. 1,700.
This almost is the last push with the Lava Hound. There is not enough time to have another Lava Hound go down that left-hand side. It doesn't even cross the bridge.
Trouble that Dark Prince
falling.
onto that miner. Not even close. Poison doing some damage, about 20 seconds. Only half of the time remaining now. Second miner does come. So many Mega Minions to deal with, though.
Yeah, Mega Minions doing a good job at cleaning everything up here. 1,000 hit points remain. They throw the tombstone in front of it to make sure it is well protected here.
And maybe the final moment will be the win for Game With. As for match number 3, winning out 1v1 and 2v2. Amaterasu and Yui Hero finishing off strong, keeping their first place. They've been tied up after Ponos took the first match tonight.
Yeah.
The third match for Game With, they will stay on top of the standings.
I don't know if you were watching there, but Game With just missed absolutely everything. They went for the fusion. They missed. One went for a fist bump, one was saluting. They just missed every celebration.
Hey, they used all their teamwork in the game, okay? That's all that matters. They can miss out on the ceremony. It's better than losing, certainly.
It is better than losing, but it was just, I don't know, it's just, look, it's kind of awkward, you know? They missed absolutely everything together. But Game With do take the game. They are proving that they are the strongest team in this region.
In the entire league, and also in Japan for now. Ponos has one more match to go tomorrow, so maybe they will actually tie up, but once again, but for now, by the end of day number 2, Game With on top of the standings, and so far, 3-3 between Japan and Korea.
Much closer than the last time these two teams played, where Japan just kind of walked away with it. But this time, Korea has shown that they are no walkovers. They are more prepared. They look so much better. And even OPGG here looked like they could have taken this 2v2.
Yeah, Uchan and Chachu preparing that expo. Didn't really work out. It was a good strategy, I would say. Brilliant strategy with the ban. But losing the first game costed them a lot. Coming down to game number 3 here.
Look at those 3 bats there, just dealing so much damage. And this Electro Wizard just takes the game right there. Ooh.
See, they knew that tower would be going down anyhow, and they had some time, about 40-something seconds, so they wanted to collect and gather everything for their own push. Not really possible in time.
I think we're about to get into an interview here with Game With. And
who it's going to be. It seems like we have Amaterasu.
오늘의 마지막 매치 게이미드와 OPGG의 대결 함께 하셨습니다. 두
The
팀
final
모두
match for
어제
tonight, Game With
패배
versus
이후
OPGG.
더욱 진지하고 신중한 모습을 보여주셨죠. 그 결과 게이미드가 어제의 아쉬움은 잊고 오늘 승리를 하며 다시 한번 단독 선두로 올라서게 되었는데요. 기뻐하고 있을 게이미드의 아마테라스 선수와 인터뷰 나눠보도록
Let's have a talk with
하겠습니다.
Amaterasu.
안녕하세요.
Hello.
안녕하세요.
한국팀을 상대로 승리하신 소감 한 말씀
How
부탁드릴게요.
does it feel to have your win? Take the win against the Korean team.
本当に負けたら1位陥落ということで本当に絶対負けられない試合だったので本当に勝ててよかったです。
지면 저희가 1위를 떨어지는 상태였기 때문에
If we
오늘
lost, we were
이겨야겠다는
dropping in
마음으로
standings.
임했습니다.
So we
어제
were
패배가
going in
상당히
saying that
충격적이었을 것
we
같은데
have to win this
특히
one.
유키히로 선수는 1대1 패배 이후 계속 고개를 숙이고 있어서 굉장히 걱정이 됐었어요.
And Yuhiro, after
팀원들과
dropping the
어떤
from
얘기를
D1 last
나눴는지
night,
궁금합니다.
was having some tough time.
苦しかったんですけど、特にユーヒ
Did
ロ
he
選手と
recover
頭ずっ
overnight?
と下げてましたので、あと試合の後どんな話をしましたか？
そうですね、やっぱ誰でも負けるのは仕方ないでもう切り替えて次以降の試合全部勝つつもりで頑張ろうっていう意気込みで頑張りました。
어제 유희르 선수한테 아무래도 누구나 질 수 있다라는
Told
위로의
him that anyone can
말씀을
lose.
하면서
It's
앞으로 다음 경기 이기면
possible.
된다라는
You just
이야기를
have to win
나눴습니다.
your next match.
네, 아마테라스 선수는 유이히로 선수와 KK 선수는 슌 선수와 2대2 짝꿍이신 것 같아요. 두 분이 굉장히 잘 맞으시는 것
Amaterasu,
같은데 어떤 부분에서
Yuhiro, you
잘
guys are the
맞는지
duo.
궁금해요.
And KK paired up with
아마테라스 선수와
Shun
유희로 선수도
many
파트너인데
times.
KK
Which
선수,
duo
슌
do you
선수도
think is
파트너시는
better?
ですけど、どういう組み合わせでどんなところが合うんですか？
そうですね、2人とも、年齢が一緒のペアなんですけど、やっぱずっと同じペアで練習し続けることによって息がぴったり合うようになってきました。
저는 아무래도 유희로 선수랑 동갑이기 때문에 그렇게
Because
연습을
I'm
해왔었고
at the same age with
연습
Yuhiro.
결과로 저희가 잘 맞기 때문에 이렇게
I
진행을
think
하고
that's
있습니다.
another reason why
2대2에서
and why we
동반업
have
실수가
such great teamwork.
있으셨어요. 멘탈이 흔들릴 법도 한데 어떻게 마인드 컨트롤을 하셨는지
You
궁금합니다.
had some spell mistakes. How did you control yourself, gather back into the game together?
どういうマインドコントロールで挑みましたか？
そうですね、やっぱそこまで大きくないミスだったんで、もうしっかりカバーして、その後も息の合ったプレーをし続けて勝ちをつかむことができました。
그렇게 큰 실수는 아니었기 때문에 만회할 수 있는
It wasn't the biggest mistake.
방법으로 저희가 찾아가지고
We
이길 수
found a
있었던 것
solution,
같습니다.
some
그리고
method to come
궁금한
back
게
into the
있는데요.
game.
게이미드의 트레이드 마크인 이 요소로 이거 맞나요?
You guys always have
이게 의미가 되게
ceremony.
궁금합니다.
요소로,
설명
what does it
한번
mean?
해주세요.
ゲームウィズのトレードマークのよそろという部分はどういう意味がありますか？
まあ意味はそうですね、いろんな意味があるんでちょっとまあ省略です。
굉장히 다양한 의미가 있기 때문에 생략하도록
It
하겠습니다.
means a lot of things,
여전히
so I
선두를
will
달리고
actually
있는
skip
게이미드
to
앞으로의
answer the
목표 한마디
question.
해주세요.
リードしているゲームビドさんのこれからの目標を教えてください。
It's
ア
good
ジ
to
ア
hear.
で1位になって世界一を取れるように頑張ります。
아시아 1위를 한 다음에 세계 1위를 할 수 있도록
We'll
하겠습니다.
be number one in Asia
네,
and
이렇게
number
해서
one in the
게이미드가
world.
여전히
That's
선두의
our goal.
자리를 지키고 있는데요. 앞으로도 더 멋진 경기를
It's a big
보여주시도록
climb, isn't it?
기대해 보도록
Yes.
하겠습니다.
Oh, it's still
그럼 여기서
possible.
인터뷰를 모두
And that's
마치도록
going to be
할게요.
it with the interview
또
with
만나요.
Amaterasu
안녕.
from Game With. Very strong words, and I think it's a big dream, but certainly possible for number 1 in Asia for now. Yes, got one step done, but a big step forward. Number 1 in the world.
Yeah, there are so many strong teams. We see Nova in CRL China. We see like all the teams preparing.
We're having a lot of the region: China, Latin America, Europe.
They're all preparing. North America.
They're all coming very soon. And the updated standings, we will have Untitled Sports caught up game with for some time, only for 2 hours, and then game with taking another staircase up there, having 7-2.
Very impressive win record right now. We have Pono Sports 6-2. AHQ. Who would have thought that they would have been 3rd place after their start of this tournament?
But look at that. Look at the gap between the 2nd and the 3rd place. There are 2 match wins, so that's quite apart, I would say. And they have a lot of the Korean teams still to climb up, and also to Southeast Asian teams, Kicks and Chaos Theory. They will be playing next weekend, so watch out for those matches, and it will be in a different patch as well. So something else, but we're still not done. Of course, 2 more matches coming up tomorrow, and we'll be seeing that page right after this, I believe.
It's amazing to me that Sandbox have climbed so much, and similarly AHQ Esports Club have climbed so much. But tomorrow we have Pono Sports versus Sandbox.
A real test.
A real test of Sandbox's
final
comeback.
exam, yes.
And then we have Fav Gaming versus Kingzone Dragon X.
Ooh.
Another test there for Kingzone Dragon X.
Oh, look at all the strong teams playing tomorrow. I'm jealous, Simon.
I'm so happy to be able to be here for that.
I'll be watching, of course. Simon and Joel will be casting for tomorrow's matches, and it's going to be a good one. Only 2 matches, but look at as you just saw on the screen, those teams will be very, very powerful.
It's a blockbuster game tomorrow.
Has to be. One of the Hollywood ones for sure.
This is the summer blockbuster. This is the one that everyone should be tuning in for. So please make sure you come tomorrow and join me and Joel to cast those games.
Not me, but it's okay. I will be enjoying at home as well. We had some great matches tonight as well, and that 1v1 ace match between Mig and Booyah and Expo Master. Let's go have a rewatch on that too.
It feels like a lifetime ago, that game.
Yep, already, but we are about to close out. That was day 2, week number 6, but we will be back with more Clash Royale action with day number 3 with 2 more matches tomorrow and at a different time, 7 p.m. So that's going to be on Sunday. See you guys soon.